Welcome to Air Checks. This week and next week, we will be focusing on horror stories for Halloween. In this episode, we will be featuring some select episodes from the Twilight Zone radio series. The Twilight Zone is a nationally syndicated radio drama series featuring radio play adaptations of the classic 1959 to 1964 television series The Twilight Zone. The series was produced for the British digital radio station BBC Radio 4 Extra, airing for 176 episodes between October 2002 and 2012. In the United States, it aired on nearly 200 radio stations including WCCO, KSL, KOA, WIND, XM Satellite Radio Channel 163 and Sirius XM Book Radio. Most of the stations aired 2 episodes each week, usually on the weekends and many times back-to-back. Many of the stories are based on Rod Serling's scripts from the original Twilight Zone series, and are slightly expanded and updated to reflect contemporary technology and trends and the lack of a visual component. In addition to adapting all of the original episodes aired on the TV series, the radio series has also adapted some Twilight Zone TV scripts which were never produced, scripts from other Serling TV productions, and new stories written especially for the radio series. Taking Serling's role as narrator is Stacy Keach. Here is the Twilight Zone radio series, starting with The Hitchhiker.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Finally. Done this radio.
Voice of America International Broadcast. And now the news. Victims continue to pour into refugee camps as the bombing continues.
Please.
I can hear them in the night. I can hear them in the daylight. They're coming for us, but they'll have bodies to step over. More bodies than they can count. There will be no survivors. The road of the righteous shall not be breached, nor illusion tempt thee from thy path. They are coming for you. Remember my words and make your peace, brothers and sisters, because no one gets out of here alive.
Have you ever driven cross-country? I don't know what I was thinking, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Get away from it all, see the USA. Except that it's more than you bargained for. You try to keep a schedule, so you push yourself. You eat when you can, and keep the gas tank full. But you'd swear it's never going to end. After a while, the only thing you want is to rest. You're so tired, you start to see things that aren't really there. The highway winds ahead like a flat ribbon, and there's only the sound of the engine. And then suddenly, without warning, something moves out there. A jackrabbit, maybe, a small animal darting across your path. Or it might be your eyes playing tricks. But at the last minute, you swerve just the same, and something goes wrong. Very dreadfully wrong. This can't be happening. Please, stop. Help! Somebody help!
Her name is Nan Adams. She's 27 years old. Her occupation? Buyer at a New York department store. At present on vacation, driving cross-country from Manhattan to Los Angeles, California. She's gone just far enough to wear through the bald spot on her right front tire. But with any luck, she'll survive this little setback. Minor incident on Highway 11 in Pennsylvania. Perhaps to be filed under accidents you walk away from. A conversational item for the winter months back home when Miss Adams talks of her trip to her friends over a glass of wine. What she doesn't know yet is that from this moment on, she won't be alone. For the remainder of the trip, her companion will be terror, her route, fear, her destination, quite unknown. because Miss Adams has just crossed an invisible line not on any map, one that leads directly into the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, The Hitchhiker, starring Kate Jackson with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
How's it coming?
Almost finished.
I'm so sorry to trouble you.
Hey, that's my job. Good thing I drove by.
Yes, it is. There are no phones for miles. I don't know what I would have done.
No real damage. At least you didn't flip the car.
Thank God.
Just let me tighten these lug nuts here and you're on your way.
I should know how to do that. Would you believe I've never changed a tire in my life?
You're not the only one. That's why I stay in business. Lots of flats out here. That, vapor lock, cars that overheat, run out of gas. Keep a 5-gallon can in the truck.
I don't know what happened exactly.
How fast were you going, lady?
60, 65, something like that.
That all?
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
It happens. Gotta keep your eyes on the road, though.
I thought I saw something.
Like what?
I don't know. Something moving. Do you think it could have been a mirage?
A what?
A mirage. Some sort of optical illusion with the sun on the windshield or...
You want my advice? Check into a motel and get some sleep. Too long behind the wheel, you start to lose it.
But I'm behind schedule.
It ain't worth it. You see those skid marks? 65 miles an hour and you had a blowout and hit the shoulder? Soft as pudding. Lady, you're on the side of the angels. By rights, you shouldn't need a mechanic. Somebody should have called for a hearse.
I take your point.
How's that bump on your forehead?
Oh, it's fine.
Got a first aid kit if you need it.
No. It's just a scratch.
There you go. Spare's ready to roll.
How much do I owe you?
Just follow me into town. I'll see if I can fix you up with another tire. You don't want to run the rest of the way without a backup.
No, I suppose I don't. Oh, great.
Something wrong?
What?
Not out of gas, are you?
I don't think so.
Pump the pedal a few times. Careful not to flood it.
I won't. It's just that I was wondering...
Yeah?
That man.
Man?
Over there. I don't know where he came from, but shouldn't one of us give him a ride? He looks like he needs it.
What man?
Behind us, about 50 yards. I can see him in my rearview mirror. He's watching us.
I don't see anything.
Oh. Well, neither do I now. I could have sworn somebody was standing there by the side of the road.
You see what happens when you try to drive straight through? Come on, we'll get you fixed up at the station.
Yes, of course.
Let's see. 45 for a new tire, plus 5 for the mounting and balancing, and the tax.
That doesn't seem nearly enough. What about the service call?
No charge. I was on my way back anyway. Make it $53.50.
I guess it's a lot cheaper than a funeral.
You can say that again.
You're very kind.
Here you go. $6.50 change. I checked your other tires while I was at it. They look okay.
Thank you so much.
Anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. I was just looking at that hitchhiker.
What hitchhiker?
Outside, by the pumps.
Where?
He's gone now.
Yep, that he is.
Somebody must have picked him up.
One of the truckers, most likely.
Strange. I saw him before, too. When you were changing the tire. Out on the highway.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it was the same man.
Must have gotten himself a lift then, too. Right after we passed him.
Yes. That must be it. Well, I'd better get going or I'll never make L.A.
Shouldn't be too hard. Brand new car. Good weather. Ought to make it easy. Better take a rest first, though.
I can't. I'm already a day late.
Get some food in you at least, if you want to make it in one piece.
Yes, I... Look at that.
Huh?
He didn't get a lift.
He didn't?
I just saw him again.
You saw...
The hitchhiker. Oh, well, it's no business of mine.
That's the truth.
Thanks very much for all your help.
Okay, miss. Have a nice, safe trip.
Thank you, I will.
Hitchhiker. What's she talking about anyway? I didn't see no hitchhiker.
Oh, it can't be the same man. It can't. Who is he? I saw him again 50 miles farther on. It was impossible, of course, but I did. And then again on the long, straight stretch through Virginia. Not menacing, really. An ordinary man. If anything, drab. A little mousy. Just a shabby, silly-looking scarecrow man. I shouldn't even think about him at all. But it's the coincidence of the thing. The fact that wherever I go, there he is. And I think he sees me. His eyes are always turned my way. Is he smiling? Why? Whenever I stop, I see him. No matter how far I travel or how fast I go, he's ahead of me. He's always ahead of me. Yes, officer?
Hold up, miss.
Is something the matter?
I can't let you pass just yet.
Why not?
Roadblock ahead.
A roadblock? What for?
Construction. Some big trucks blocking the way. Just a few more minutes.
All right.
I'll wave you on. Sit tight for now.
This could take all night. Where's my map? I can't believe it. There is no other way. This is the only road west. Oh, no. It can't be, but it is. It's him.
Going west, you say?
I didn't say anything.
I thought I heard...
No, I'm not going west. I'm sorry. I'm just going up the road a little ways. I'm really very sorry, but I can't help you.
Are you sure?
Oh, please. It has to stop. That's true.
Miss?
Miss, please. You can't go through yet. It isn't safe.
I'm on the turnpike now, a more secure feeling. And yet, I don't know why it is, but I'm frightened. A funny thing, fear. I've never known it before, not really, not like this. But now here it is. There's no denying it. Can't quite put it into words, a fear that's just about as vague as its object. And that's the trouble. It isn't really a fear, not exactly. That may be the wrong term, but I feel something. What should I call it? A sense of disquiet. The feeling that things are a little tilted, a little off somehow. The feeling you get when something's wrong, but you don't quite know what it is yet. It's vague because that's what that hitchhiker is. He's vague. Like a charcoal sketch that somebody's made and then half rubbed off the paper, leaving only a kind of indistinct outline. I wonder why it is he's always there. I wonder why I can't shake him. But most of all, I wonder why I can't stop thinking about him. It was the kind of place you never expect to find in the middle of the night. Bright lights, people, ordinary people, talking about ordinary things, even making jokes. I felt safe again for a time. Part of me didn't want to leave.
Dessert, miss?
What did you say?
Still got some pie left. Apple, blueberry, lemon meringue. Well, let me check on the apple. Trucker came through a little while ago, ordered 3 pieces with ice cream.
I'm sorry, No, thank you.
Sure? It's mighty good.
More coffee?
Sure. Ought to have more than coffee, though.
I guess I don't have much of an appetite.
Driving alone?
Yes, I am.
Where to?
All the way to California.
Whew, no kidding. That's a haul. Couldn't get me to drive all that way, at least not by my lonesome.
Actually, I was looking forward to it.
You were?
In the beginning. You see...
End of the counter, Angie. 2 burger baskets to go.
Coming up. Well, as the man said when he kissed the cow, everyone to his own taste.
You got that right, Angie. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I keep telling her she ought to be on television.
How much do I owe you?
Let's see. Here you go.
Put it on mine, Rich.
That's all right.
I said I got it for you.
No, really.
Say, don't I know you from somewhere?
I seriously doubt it.
Come on over here a minute.
Give the change to the waitress, will you?
Sure thing.
Hey, girlie, why don't you be friendly? Gets mighty lonely driving long distance.
All right, that's enough. This is no girly. This is a lady. Now knock it off.
Sure, Rich. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, but you didn't have to do that.
Hey, listen. Do yourself a favor. There's a decent motel a couple blocks from here. You look like you can use it.
What about a gas station?
There's one right next to it. Still open, too.
I do need to fill up.
Hey, you can't do better than the Bite-A-Weed. It's nice and clean.
I suppose I could. Do you get many hitchhikers?
Hitchhikers? You mean around here?
It's pretty rare, is it?
Yeah, I'll say. There's no road, just the turnpike. Guy'd be a fool hitching a ride here. I mean, look at it. Miles and miles of straightaway and practically no speed limit. Now, what car's going to stop and pick up a guy under those conditions? Would you?
No. No, I probably wouldn't. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Of course, a guy might get a lift before the turnpike starts. By the toll house or something. But then it'd be one long ride, and most cars wouldn't pick up a guy for that long a ride. And, you know, this is kind of lonely country out here, flatlands and hills and that sort of thing. You didn't see any hitchers, did you?
Oh, no. No, I haven't seen anyone like that. I was just wondering, that's all.
Anything wrong, miss?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking.
Something on your mind?
I was just thinking how good it'll be to stop driving. It's getting so that I actually hate that car. I was in no hurry to get back on the turnpike. The all-night gas station was just where he said it was, a couple of blocks south, near the railroad tracks. There was no one around, no one at all. To tell the truth, I felt relieved, even if it was self-serve. You'd think I'd have plenty of experience by now, pumping my own gas, but I was used to full service. There was only a little booth where you pay when you're finished. It's not working. Can someone please show me how to start the pump? Hello? Hello in there? Please, I want to buy some gas. If there was a night man on duty, he must have taken a break. There was nothing for me to do but wait until he came back. The lot was bright enough with those, what are they called, sodium vapor lights? There was absolutely nothing that didn't show. And maybe that was why I began to get the feeling again. Part of it was the way everything beyond the station was pitch black. I was in an island of light, and the light wasn't normal. That was the other part. Sodium vapor bulbs put out a kind of orange glow instead of white, so some things take on a different color. My skin, for instance, it was, well, a sickly green. I stood there looking at my arms and hands and listening to the traffic on the turnpike, and I felt it before I saw it, felt it and heard it. It's him. I know it is. Where is he? Where? Get away from me! Do you hear me? Stay back! I couldn't see him, but I didn't have to. I knew who it was.
Yeah, can I help you?
I need a room.
For how long?
Till morning.
Just you?
That's right.
Fill out this card.
I wonder, could I see the room?
Huh? What for? They're all the same.
If you don't mind.
Come on, then. Just clean it, new towels, everything.
That's fine. How's the lock?
The lock?
On the door.
It works fine. There's a deadbolt, too. See, case-hardened steel. Nobody gets in or out unless you open it from the inside.
Good.
Need privacy, do you?
I just sleep better when I know everything's secure.
Traveling alone, huh? Business trip, is it?
Yes, it is. Don't worry about me. I'll be up at the crack of dawn, as soon as I lay my head down for a few hours. Thanks. Bye now.
One thing.
Yes?
Cash or credit, no checks. In advance.
Oh, of course.
I'll get you change.
Keep it. Thank you. Good night. I told myself I'd be safe enough, at least for a while. I had to rest sometime. Clean sheets. What was that? Nobody out there. Must be my imagination. Yeah, that's it. Besides, no one can get in. What was that? It's in the room. A leaky shower head. But I knew. Already I knew, even if I hadn't thought it through. Something the desk clerk said about nothing getting in or out. I imagined myself lying in bed in the dark, waiting for another sound, and me trapped with it here in this room. No, that wasn't acceptable. Not acceptable at all. I had to go back to the turnpike where I belong. Good, the on-ramp. All I have to do is cross the tracks. No, there can't be a train at this time of night. It's ridiculous. I have to get across. Come on, I can make it. There's plenty of time.
This going my way?
Get away from my car! It has to start. It has to. This can't be happening. It was him. It was. Where are you? What do you want from me? The fear is no longer vague. The terror isn't formless. It has a form. He was beckoning, that drab, skinny man in the cheap, shabby suit. He was beckoning me. He wanted me to start across the tracks, for the car to stall. He wanted me to die. Now I don't know what to do. Whether I should turn around and go back to New York or go on. Thoughts stab at my brain. Ugly, frightened thoughts. Projections of tomorrow and the next day, driving through plains, driving through the desert, unspeakably, nightmarishly alone. And I know I'll see him again. I'll see him at detours, at other railroad crossings. He'll be looking at me at stoplights. If I stay at another motel, I'll glance through the window and see him outside, waiting. I don't know what to do now. I just don't know. Three days and 3 nights now. Past Tennessee into Arkansas, through the Ozark country and into Oklahoma and Texas. Stop for coffee and then drive on. Stop for food and drive. Stop for coffee, and the routine goes on. Towns without names pass by. Landscapes without form. The numbers on the dashboard clock change and I don't even see them. Now it isn't a trip, it's flight. Route 80 isn't a highway anymore, it's a means of escape, so I keep going. Conscious of only one thing, I've got to get where I'm going before that hitchhiker closes in. Halfway across Texas, 10 o'clock at night, the fourth day. The engine stops, and I sit there in the front seat chilled with fear. And I can hardly believe it. Out of gas. I can't believe this. I should have stopped earlier, and now it's too late. Wait. That sign. Yes. Gas eats 500 feet. I can see it from here. Please, someone. You can't be closed.
Yeah, what is it? What do you want?
I ran out of gas. I'm just a quarter of a mile down the road.
Come back in the morning.
Please, I can't stay here till then.
It must be past midnight.
No, it isn't. It's not even 11 o'clock.
Well, we close up here at 9. I'm sorry. Try the Honeysuckle Lodge. They got a gas pump there. It's about a mile or so away.
Please, I can't walk any farther.
Little lady, I'd like to help you, but I've been up since 5 this morning, and I'm just dead. Now, like I told you, it's only a mile or so to the Honeysuckle Lodge.
But I've got to have a can of gas. I can't stay out here by myself. You see, there's a man. There's a very suspicious-looking man.
Henry? Henry, who is it, Henry?
It's nobody, Mother. Just a gal in a fancy suit. And go back to bed. Now, what about this man? What was he doing?
Nothing.
Nothing, huh? Well, then what of it? That's not something to wake a man in the middle of his sleep about.
I'm trying to tell you.
Now, listen, young woman. You must have taken a nip or something. If you haven't got anything better to do than wake decent folks out of their hard-earned sleep.
But he looked as if he was going to rob me.
Well, if he does, you come back and I'll call the sheriff for you.
Who's there? Come out into the light so I can see you. You have to stop following me. Stop right now or I'll scream. There are people inside. They'll hear and...
Lady?
What did you say?
I said, what's the matter, lady?
Yes, that's what I am. That's exactly what I am. A lady.
What are you doing out so late?
What am I?
You work here? This your place?
No. My car's just up the road. You see, I ran out of gas. The man won't give me any.
I saw the car. You left your keys in it. I turned the lights off, though, so the battery wouldn't run down.
Do you live around here?
Nope. I'm coming back from leave.
Leave? Of course. The uniform. Are you in the Navy?
Sure am. Ever see a fella in a sailor suit that wasn't?
No, I guess I haven't. Where are you headed?
Going back to my ship. She's in San Diego. That's where I'm heading. San Diego, California.
Would you like a ride?
You kidding?
No, I mean it. I'll take you all the way to San Diego. Will you drive with me?
You don't have to ask me twice, lady. You've got yourself a rider.
I don't have any gas, though.
We'll fix that. You tried already?
The man's in bed. He can't be bothered.
Well, let's get him out of bed. All he needs a couple of gallons. I seen some all-night gas station signs. There must be plenty up ahead. Let's go, Pop. You got some customers out here. I can drive if you want.
Oh, that's all right. I'm used to it.
You mind if I take off my shoes? My feet feel like 2 hot bricks.
You go right ahead.
I keep thinking I'll wake up or something, middle of the night. No cars, no nothing, and who do I meet? A lady who looks like a movie star.
Hardly.
Brand new car and a ride all the way to the coast. When I tell the guys back on this ship, you know the odds for even one guy believing me?
I'll write up an affidavit for you and we'll get a notary to sign it.
Anytime.
You hitchhike much?
Back and forth on leave. It's tough sometimes in the open country. Trucks aren't so bad. They'll pick you up. But you have trouble with cars. People in cars don't like to pick up hitchhikers at night.
I suppose not. But I'll bet I'll bet if you got a good ride in a nice car, you could go places faster than, say, a person in another car.
I suppose.
Take me, for instance. Suppose I'm driving across the country at a nice steady clip of about, say, 55 miles an hour. Well, couldn't a guy like you, just standing beside the road waiting for lifts, beat me to town after town? Provided you got picked up every time in a car going 65 to 70 miles an hour.
I guess. Maybe he could and maybe he couldn't. What difference does it make?
Oh, it's no difference. It's just kind of a crazy idea I've had after so long in this car.
That's one way to pass the time.
Oh, no!
Oh, what's going on? What's the matter?
Did you see him?
See who?
That man.
What man?
The one who was standing beside the barbed wire fence.
I didn't see anybody. That wasn't nothing but a bunch of steers in the moonlight. What do you think you're doing? Trying to run into a fence post?
There was a man, a gray, thin kind of man with an overnight bag in his hand.
You must be overtired or something, lady. There was nothing there but some cattle and a fence.
I saw him. In fact, there he is now.
Hey, give me that wheel. Lady, I'm taking charge of the keys. Maybe you'd better let me drive after all.
You must have seen him that time.
I didn't see anybody. What were you trying to do?
Hit him.
Huh?
That's right, I was trying to hit him. Maybe if I could kill him, I could make him stop. You see, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Where are you going?
No place in particular, lady. Just out of plain sight. Any place that puts some distance between me and this automobile.
Please don't get out. I'll drive more carefully from now on, I promise.
No way, baby. I'd kind of like to get back to my ship in one piece. And driving with you? That's a pretty lousy guarantee I'd ever make it.
Please, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please don't go.
I'm sorry, lady. You'll have to excuse me.
You can't go. You don't understand. You can't. Look, I'll take you right into San Diego. I'll take you to the docks. I give you my word.
Sure. Seeing elephants, skyscrapers, and make-believe people all the way. Thanks, but no thanks.
Look, I like you. I like you very much. That's the reason I picked you up. We could be friends. Good friends. I'd like you to take me out. Really. Please.
Sorry, lady. Believe me, you'll never know how sorry.
Listen, I know you think I'm out of my mind or something, but this man, I've been seeing this man all the way across the country. He's been following me. If you could only help me, stay with me until I reach the coast.
Honey, what you need is a good night's sleep. You don't need a boyfriend, just a good night's sleep. Here's your keys. See you around.
Please, come back! There is nothing to do but drive on into the next day. As the air grows warmer, the car gets hotter than it ever has, and you begin to wonder if the tires are going to melt. The windshield colors over with smashed insects, wasps and bees and dragonflies, all stuck to the glass. And if you're driving west into the sun, it gets hard to find your way. But I see him again, in the middle of the Texas prairies. And then everywhere, wherever I pull off, even for a moment, for gas, for oil, for a drink of pop, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, he's there. He's outside the entrance to a rest stop near El Paso. He's sitting by a drinking fountain and a little camping spot on the border of New Mexico. He's waiting for me outside the Navajo reservation where I check my tires. I see him again when I buy 12 gallons of gas in Arizona. He's everywhere I go, always ahead of me, always looking at me, always waiting for me. Now I'm outside a diner near Tucson. There's a phone booth, and I'm going to call home. Back to New York. Put in a call to my mother so I can speak to someone familiar. Someone I love. Someone who will bring back reality for me. Just a voice, that's all. but I know it will be enough. Just a warm, familiar voice so I won't lose my mind.
Operator.
I'd like to make a call to my home in New York City.
What is the number, please?
Trafalgar 41098.
Thank you. That'll be $3.60 for the first 3 minutes.
Oh, I seem to be short. I thought I had enough.
$3 and...
I could go inside and get change. Look, can't you put it through? I have to talk to my mother.
Would you like to call collect?
Yes, that's it. Thank you, operator.
What number are you calling from?
Wait. There's no number. It's been scratched off.
If you can't give me the number...
Don't hang up. Here, I found some coins. I'll put them in now.
50 cents more, please.
Yes, I know. I've got it.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Mrs. Adams' residence.
Hello? Hello, Mother?
This is the home of Mrs. Adams. Who did you wish to speak to?
Who's this?
This is Mrs. Whitney.
Mrs. Whitney? I don't know any Mrs. Whitney. Is it Trafalgar 41098?
Yes.
Where's my mother? Where's Mrs. Adams?
Well, Mrs. Adams is not at home. She's still in the hospital.
The hospital?
Who's calling? Is this a member of the family?
What's she in the hospital for?
She's been bedridden for 5 days. Nervous breakdown. Who is calling?
Nervous breakdown? But there's nothing wrong with my mother. She's never had any problems.
It's all taken place since the death of her daughter.
The death of her daughter? What are you talking about? What do you mean, the death of her daughter? Who is this? What number is this?
It's all been very sudden. Nan was killed just 5 days ago in an automobile accident in Pennsylvania. A tire blew out and her car turned over.
Please deposit 60 cents more if you wish to continue this call. Please deposit 60 cents. Please deposit 60 cents. Please deposit 60 cents.
Very odd, but the fear has left me. I'm numb now. I have no feeling. It's as if someone pulled out a kind of plug in me, and every emotion, including fear, is drained away. And I'm only a cold shell. I'm conscious of the things around me, the vast, soulless night of Arizona, the frantically blinking stars that look down from the darkness. Ahead of me stretches 1,000 miles of empty mesa, mountains, prairies, desert, and somewhere among them, he's waiting. Somewhere I'll find out who he is and what he wants. Though just now, for the first time, looking out at the night, I think I know. I know that he's here now, without even looking in the rearview mirror.
I believe you're going my way.
Yes. Yes, of course I am.
Nan Adams, age 27. She thought she'd take a drive to California, to Los Angeles. She didn't make it because of a detour through the Twilight Zone.
More from the Twilight Zone after this.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
The Hitchhiker, starring Kate Jackson, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Rod Serling from a story by Lucille Fletcher. Heard in the cast were Mike Starr, Nick DiGilio, Todd Manley, Peter DeFaria, Turk Muller, Doug James, Kurt Nabig, Carl Amari, Deb Dotzer, and Meg Falcon. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises, Carol Serling, Dennis Etchison, Dick Brescia Associates, Claire Simon Casting, Terry Jennings, XM Satellite Radio, Sirius Satellite Radio, our sponsors, and our radio affiliates for helping make this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are those of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
It's time, Mr. Mothershed.
Well, boys, look what the wind blew in.
Drink, Corcoran?
Not now. I said it's time.
Sykes?
He's in the general store, but he's fixing to come out any minute.
Tell your men to be ready.
Already did. Now I'm telling you.
Where are they?
One on the roof, Mr. Mothershed, with a Winchester. One by the hotel, and one's over by the blacksmith's.
Is that all you rounded up?
And old Jason.
Jason? He ain't worth a hoot.
Oh, well, now. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Told him to keep watch across the street.
Where's Johnny Robb?
Johnny? He'll be ready. Don't you worry none.
I'll lay odds against that.
You'd lay odds on any damn thing.
Maybe. But I've got a $10 gold piece that says Johnny Robb won't show.
Get on now. This ain't a proper gambling matter. I set it up real good, Mr. Mothershed. You'll see. All you have to do is sit tight. Any time now, I tell you.
Hear that, boys?
I hear it.
It's gonna be just like a turkey shoot.
You don't want to go taking any chances now. Pinno's fast. Fast on the draw.
Sure he is.
All right, wait till he walks out, then open fire.
Ain't even gonna give the man a fighting chance, huh?
That's not some cowpoke over there. That's Pinno Sykes.
Yeah, I heard about him.
We all did.
What kind of chance he ever give anybody?
True enough.
See y'all later, boys.
Hey, don't you want that drink?
I told you, Ira, I got business. There's gonna be a funeral.
No funeral, just dig a hole and dump him in.
But we gotta have one. His family keeps a plot up on Boot Hill. Plus, we already paid for the coffin.
Where's he going?
I'll tell you where. He's hiked down into his hideout till the killing's done.
It's just as well. We don't need any more guns.
If he's telling the truth. Especially about the Winchester. Pour me another whiskey, bartender.
Yes, sir.
Hear that?
I heard something.
There's old Jason's signal. Let's go, boys. It's as good as over.
Normally, the man would be correct. This sounds like a moment very close to the end of the story. We're about to have a traditional shootout on the street, and barring a miracle, the bad man will soon be dead. But it's not always easy to tell the good guys from the bad. And there are some men of legend and folk tales who have been known to wreak their revenge even after death. The outlaw in question, Pinto Sykes, is one such person. And therein lies our tale. Because very shortly we'll see how he introduces the town and a man named Connie Miller in particular to a long, dark night they didn't plan for in a place called the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, The Grave, starring Michael Rooker, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Put it on my bill.
Yes, sir. I'll do that. Thank you kindly. You want any help with those supplies?
Nope.
Well, then, I'll be seeing you.
Say.
Yes, sir?
Where's everybody gone to?
Why, I don't know what you mean, Mr. Sykes. I better be getting back inside now.
What did you call me?
Me?
What?
I didn't call you nothing.
I say you did.
I didn't mean no disrespect.
You know my name?
No, sir. I mean, yes, sir. I mean, well, everybody does.
What are you so nervous about?
Me? Well, I'm not nervous. I just got business to do.
What kind of business? Ain't no customers waiting.
Well, I know, but I... Good day to you. Come back real soon, you hear?
Easy, Penny. Just tying this bag to the saddle, and we'll make tracks out of this jerkwater town.
Freeze.
Who's that?
I got you covered, Pinto. Reach for the sky.
Well, what do you know? Mother shed. You always was a low-down, egg-sucking dog. Still not man enough to draw on me.
Keep your hand away from that gun.
Easy now. What are you doing in this territory?
I bought me a big spread. This town's got no room for your kind anymore, Pinto.
Still scared of me, ain't you, Mother Shed? No need. I'm just passing through.
Sure you are. Now, boys.
Why, you...
He's still alive.
He won't be for long.
Go on. Get him to the old jail.
What for?
Town folks are watching. He's got people here.
Lift his feet.
Nah, just drag him.
See that, Johnny Rob? Never even got his gun out.
No, he sure didn't. That famous pearl-handled .45.
Who gets to keep it now, you figure?
Leave it, old man.
Fetch a good price.
Bury it with them. It's only right.
They really did it.
They? You was in on it too, Johnny Rob.
Not me. I don't believe in taking a life. Even his. I put a bet on Pinto.
A Guinness, you mean?
Never thought they'd get him that easy.
8 shots. No man can stand up to 8 shots. Not even Pinto Sykes.
He ain't got more than a few minutes left to live, Johnny Rob. Reckon you'd better fetch his pa and sister.
Ain't there nobody else can do it?
Well, I sure can't. I have to see if the casket's ready, now don't I?
All right, Mr. Corcoran.
Yes, sirree. This here's the end of Pinto Sykes.
Somebody there?
Only me, Connie.
You shouldn't be standing in the shadows, Jason.
I was waiting.
Waiting for what?
Had a feeling you might show up, now that it's safe.
Why? Pinto Sykes come through here yet?
You didn't hear.
Why don't you talk sense, old man? What's that picket fence doing out there in the street?
His sister, Ione, put it up day before yesterday to mark his blood. Closed it off so nobody would ride over it.
Whose blood?
Well, just who do you think? There's a southern wind. You know what that means, don't you? Not much dust in southern winds, blowing down off the mountains. I bet if you look close, you can still see Pinto's blood shining in the moonlight.
Who shot him? I asked you a question. Who, old man? Who? Where did you go?
Who wants to open?
I'll be. Is that...
Well, look at who's come back.
Connie Miller?
Gents.
Take your coat off. I'll hang it up for you. Drink, Connie?
Yeah, I could use one.
Same as always?
Leave the bottle.
Oh, sure.
I said, who wants to open?
That's all for me.
Me too.
Not much of a pot. but I'll take it.
Did you notice, Connie?
Notice what?
Our little fence out in the street.
That I did. I noticed it. And I know what's inside it, too.
How'd you know that?
Old Jason's out there walking around in the wind spouting off.
And what'd he tell you?
The blood of Pinto Sykes.
Well, for once, that old geezer told the truth.
Who shot him?
We did.
Who's we?
Us. The town.
The whole town?
Not me. I don't believe in gunfire myself.
Only 8 of us actually fired, but the whole town was behind it.
Fact is, this town don't have much in the way of marksmen.
That right.
Out of 8 that fired, we reckon only 1 bullet hit him.
Which one?
Don't even know for sure who fired it. Bullet passed clean through him, and no one is bragging that they're the one who did it.
No, sir. No one is claiming credit for that piece of gunplay.
You know something, Mr. Corcoran? Maybe by now, wherever he is, Pinto knows who it was that killed him.
What do you mean, wherever he is?
Oh, he's up on Boot Hill, of course. Lying in the family plot.
Reckon it must be some disappointment to you, Connie, being as how you spent so long trying to find him for yourself.
That it is, Ira. 4 months wasted out of the year chasing him. And I could have caught him right here.
That's not the way Pinto told it. He claimed you wasn't even trying to catch up to him.
Hello, Johnny Rob. Still running your mouth, same as always?
You do spout off a lot, Johnny Rob.
One last hand, double or nothing.
Too rich for my blood.
Mine too.
And I'll deal some solitaire for now.
Somebody worth playing against, huh? Instead of the likes of us.
Do me a favor. Send that boy home.
Of course, if Connie Miller was to sit in, this gambler meet his match. Nerves of steel. Isn't that right?
It's past your bedtime, Johnny Rob.
No need to get riled, Connie. Nobody here is saying you didn't actually try to catch Pinto, even if he claimed as much on his deathbed.
He talked before he died?
Mm-hmm. He lived a half hour after he was shot. Talked a blue streak right up to the end.
What did he say about...
About what, Connie?
About me.
Maybe you'd like to hear the story from the start.
That I would.
Go on, Corcoran. You tell it better than the rest of us.
I'll do that for you, Ira. Reckon Connie deserves to hear it all. We got a new circuit judge now, Connie. Young feller named Ed Thackeray. He come through here last week, so we went to him with our complaints. Told him how one Pinto Sykes is wanted by the law in 3 states, and how he treats this town like his personal property when he rides in, just because he was born and raised here.
Is that all you told him?
We told him how we haven't had ourselves a sheriff in 3 years, and how Pinto, well, he just rides in and helps himself to whatever he wants, with nobody to stand up and make him pay. We told him how we hired you, Connie Miller, to track him down, but that we ain't had much results.
Hey, hold up there. You know I've been on his trail.
I know. Well, sir, this Thackeray gets mad at us, tells us to grow up and act like men, or else move on to where it's safe. He gets us kind of fired up, so we hold a meeting out at Mothershed's and we all agree to work as one. The next time Pinto shows up, we'd all join in and take him one way or the other.
He rode in the day before yesterday.
You want to tell the rest, Ira?
Not much left to tell. He rode in and 8 of the town gunned him down in the street. That's about all there is.
No, that's not all there is. What about the curse?
All right. You tell it.
When did he do all this talking?
After we carried him to the old jail. We sent for Pa Sykes and his sister Ione.
I know the names of his family. I was born here, too.
Spent his last minutes talking to his people. Told his pa how sorry he was he hadn't turned out better, and his pa allowed that he turned out right well enough. He told Ione how he wished she'd marry a rich man, a rancher like Mr. Mothershed, and live on a proper spread. Then he asked to be buried near his ma, except not too near, as she was too true a woman to have the likes of him close by. Said he wants his family to do the burying, as he don't want anyone else to come near where he's resting, even though I'm the one that ordered the coffin. Said if we did, he'd come calling on us. Yes, sir. He put a rock curse on the town.
That's what you call it.
What did he say about me?
Well, now, he got real riled when your name came up. Said the slower he rode, the slower you chased him. Said he waited in Albuquerque, even sent word where he was, but you never showed up. Then he said you sure ought to be able to catch him now that he's dead and buried. But if you ever come anyways close to his grave, he'd reach up and grab you.
Tell you one thing, since the burial, there ain't been no one from this town hanging around that graveyard.
I'll tell you one thing. He lied. Even on his deathbed, he lied. I searched Albuquerque. Every saloon, every hotel. He wasn't even there long enough to rent a room for the night. What's that?
Take it easy, Connie. Just the wind. Put your gun away.
Well, now, what do you know? Somebody's out there, all right. Pretty harsh night, too. So I reckon we better let him in.
I'll answer it. Oh, how do?
Hello, Ione.
Nice to see you.
Miss Sykes, what are you doing out so late?
Gentlemen. Mr. Broadley, give me a bottle of rye whiskey, if you please.
Surely. Seems your paw is hitting the drink a mite heavy, though.
You think so?
None of my affair, but maybe you could try and get him to taper off. He's a fine man.
He truly is.
All I mean to say is, I swear Ione, folks don't hold it against him that he was Pinto's paw.
Oh, this isn't for my paw, Mr. Broadley. This is for me.
Oh, I see. Begging your pardon.
Well, look what rode in on the wind.
Hello there.
My brother was just talking about you.
Your brother?
Most certainly.
When was that?
Day before yesterday. He's real sorry he missed you.
We told him, Ione.
And did you tell him how Pinto's going to greet him if he does see him?
We told him that, too.
You've been chasing him for so long, Connie. You ought to feel real lucky tonight. You finally know right where he is. And all you have to do is walk out there. How nice for you.
That whole Sykes family was never real bright.
Tell us, Connie.
Tell you what?
You afraid of Pinto's grave?
What are you talking about?
Because the rest of us are. How about you?
I'll tell you something, Johnny Rob. I was never afraid of Pinto alive, and I sure as hell ain't afraid of him now that he's dead. Understand?
Well, now, is that the truth?
You know English, don't you?
Because I don't exactly know as I believe you. Why, I'll bet...
Hold it now, Connie. Simmer down.
He deserved it.
Maybe he did. But let's not have any bloodshed.
Nobody calls me a coward.
You didn't let me finish what I was saying, Connie. I don't think you're a coward. No, sir. Leastwise, I don't think you're afraid of anybody in this room, especially not me.
For sure not you.
I'm just a poor boy that works hard for not much. I'm not real strong, but dogs and kids like me. Follow me around all the time.
Go ahead. Why don't you speak your mind straight out?
Have another drink, Connie. Come on. Sit down. Sure windy tonight, ain't it? I remember the last time we had a wind like this.
I'm waiting, Johnny Rob.
Well, like I was saying, no, sir, I don't believe you or anyone else is afraid of me. But whether or not you was ever scared of Pinto is something only you know.
Johnny Rob.
Well, I was about to say when you hit me and hurt me is, I'll bet, not that I'm accusing you, I'm just saying, I'll bet that you won't be calling on Pinto anytime soon.
No.
Anytime like tonight, for instance.
Now, why don't you shut up before you really get hurt?
Now, Connie.
Look at the time. By golly, it's almost 12 midnight.
What about it?
Drop it, Johnny.
I'm betting you won't go out of here at midnight sharp and climb all the way up the Boot Hill and visit Pinto's grave. Now, I got a $20 gold piece somewhere. Yeah, it took me nearly 20 weeks of odd jobs to save it. Here, I'm betting it all that you won't do what I just said.
That a real bet, Johnny Rob?
Boy just can't help running his mouth, can he? Never could, as I recollect.
Well, he does have a point, though. What about it, Connie?
What about what?
You calling him?
Of course not. Why make him save for 20 more weeks? I don't need the money.
Just the same, you did state that you ain't afraid of Pinto, dead or alive. If I heard you right.
Look, I'm a grown-up man, and I don't do little boy things anymore. Like playing in graveyards at midnight. You know I'm not afraid, don't you, Ira?
Never take sides myself.
Then you won't go.
I don't like you, boy. I never have, and I reckon I never will. So, you've got a $20 gold piece. Well, I've got a $20 gold piece myself. And it just covers yours.
I'd say the bet's covered.
Well, now, looks like in about 20 minutes, one of us is going to have $40 instead of $20.
That's right. And afterwards, while I'm spending it, I don't want you hanging around where I have to look at you. Got it?
Don't you want to know where Pinto's buried, Connie?
It's on the southeast corner of the graveyard, close to where Tom Santee's planted.
Connie.
Yeah?
Haven't got another 20 you want to put up, do you?
Are you saying you want to bet against me, Steinhardt?
Betting's what I do, Connie. You know that.
Oh, you're not looking so good tonight, Connie. When a gambler bets, he has to win, or else he go out of business.
So, you don't think I got the nerve to go up either?
I didn't say that.
Then what did you say?
I just said I'll bet $20 that you won't.
You got to bet.
It's my 20. Your turn.
What are you asking? To see my money?
That's the idea.
We've made bets before, Steinhardt.
Yeah, but this time's different, Connie. Now, if we were betting on a horse race or the turn of the next card, I'd trust you. But not this time.
What's so different about this time?
When you get out to Pinto's grave, how do I know he won't reach up and grab you? If you don't come back, how do I collect?
There. That good enough for you?
Gold certificates. Legal tender in my book.
Hold these for us, Ira.
Sure, Connie.
How about you? I've still got some more betting money left. Whose side are you on?
Never bet myself, nor take sides.
How about you?
Can't afford to bet tonight. Steinhardt here took all I got to lose.
If you hadn't lost to him, how much? And which way would you have bet?
Reckon I'd bet against you. Nothing personal.
I don't get it. You people know me. Why all at once you think I'm yellow?
Because we'd be afraid. You can draw them guns of yours real fast, Connie. We've seen you. But out in that graveyard in the middle of the night, they ain't worth a copper cent. You'll have no more to fight with than a yearling on his first legs.
I don't get my nerves from these guns. I had it way before I could pick 'em up. You'll find that out soon enough. Ira, get my coat.
Right here.
Just one thing before you leave.
Yeah?
Oh, we've got a detail to work out, Connie, since this is a job you have to do by yourself. How can we be sure you did it?
My word's good.
Well, maybe so. But look at it from where I sit. What's to keep you from going, let's say as far as the edge of the graveyard, and then coming back and telling us you went all the way?
You saying you don't trust me?
Hey, business is business, Connie. This is my livelihood.
Then it looks like you're going to have to go along with me to protect your interest. Don't it? Just to make sure I do what I say.
He's got you there, Steinhardt.
Yeah, that won't do. Even if I were inclined to go, which I'm not, it'd improve his chances by the simple fact that courage comes easier when a man's not alone.
And how'll we ever know?
I have another way. Give me your Bowie knife, Ira, from behind the bar.
If you say so, but I don't see...
Just bring it over and put it on the table. There. Now, Connie, when you arrive at your destination, stick the knife into the earth of the grave. And then at daylight tomorrow, we'll be able to see the proof.
That's a real smart plan, don't you think so, Connie?
I don't like to disturb a grave, not even Pinto's.
You backing out?
I said I'd go out there, but I won't treat no grave with disrespect.
Then stick it near the grave. If we see it within 5 feet of fresh earth, we'll concede the wager.
One thing's for sure, there ain't gonna be no one sneaking out there to steal the knife once you've planted it.
Keep the bottle on the bar, Ira. I won't be long.
Well, who'd have thought? There he goes, all by his lonesome. And there ain't even a moon tonight.
You know something? We might just lose this bet.
You maybe, not me. I've already got my $20 worth just seeing him squirm.
Who's there?
Just me. That Connie Miller again?
Jason, I told you once, don't be lurking around in the dark. A man could get his head blowed off.
Yeah, same as in daylight. Gonna stay a while?
What do you care?
Well, that's your horse, ain't it? Tethered up by the saloon. A man shouldn't ought to leave his horse. Might catch a death, all lathered up.
I got one stop to make, then I'll be back.
I could take care of her for you. Get her some feed and a blanket.
No need.
Can you spare me some change anyway, Connie? A 10-cent piece will do, so I can get me some grub in the morning.
I'll take care of you later.
If it's all the same to you, I'll have it now.
You don't trust me?
Sure, I trust you. But a lot can happen twixt sundown and sunup.
East side. Right about there. Now all I have to do is...
Evening, Connie. Come to see Pinto?
Maybe.
You're braver than I thought.
What's that under your cape?
You want some? A good belt of red rye might make it easier. There's still half a bottle left.
I don't get my nerve out of a bottle.
Oh, no? Where do you get it?
I ain't afraid of no man.
Then you go on up there and see him, why don't you?
I'll do that.
I was just there. He's waiting for you, you know.
I'm coming, Pinto. You can count on that. Pickett, Winslow, Appleton, the Nottinghams. Where? What? Old caretaker's shed, that's all. Door blowing off the hinges. Caretaker's shed. That's all. Look at all this junk. Picks, shovels, markers. And a little old window. Good. That's good. Sure it is. I can spot you from here, Pinto. Right there. By the Santi plot. Fresh dirt. And a wreath. Well, Pinto, all those pretty flowers, they're gonna blow away by morning, and then what will you have? Nothing. That's what. You can't hurt me now, Pinto. Not now. You'll never hurt anybody again. The day has passed. But I remember you. The way you used to beat kids up in school. The way you lied so your ma wouldn't know. The way you cheated me out of my first horse. And me always looking over my shoulder. See if you're following me. Why'd you do that, Pinto? Why'd you lie and cheat and steal? When you robbed your first bank, you thought you were a real man. And the first time you killed, you were so drunk you couldn't see straight. But you didn't care. Yeah, after that, the rest was easy, as long as you snuck up behind them. You were fast, all right. Fast on the draw. But your last was weak. That's your blood in the dirt out there, not mine. Here, Pinto, I brought you a present, something to remember me by. I'm leaving it on your grave. Stuck right through your black heart. Rest in peace! There. It's done. Now I hope you burn in hell. Yeah. Huh? What? No! Let go! Let go!
You seen him, Johnny Rob?
I don't understand it. It's full daylight, and he ain't back yet.
Well, maybe he didn't have the nerve to come back and face us after he turned tail and run.
That's not likely. His horse and gear are still here.
So he didn't just ride out of town, but he didn't come back to collect his bet, neither.
I'm wondering if somehow I ain't got a man killed.
Nah, that's no way to talk.
I didn't mean to. I didn't ever mean to do that.
It's daylight now, Johnny Rob, and we can think with clear heads. Deep down, we all know the dead can't really hurt nobody.
You know that. I don't.
Morning.
Morning, Ione.
And what brings you out so early, Miss Sykes?
I'm on my way to the graveyard.
Why are you carrying a dinner plate?
This was his. He used to eat out of it when he was a boy. I thought I'd put it on the grave.
Oh, well, that's very nice and all, but you know, Ione, I don't think the dead are hungry anymore. They finally got their piece. You might say their cup runneth over.
Thank you for saying that. But I still want him to have it.
I'm going with you. Do you mind?
You may, Johnny, if you like.
Gotta see what happened.
Well, reckon we can't spend the rest of our days being afraid of a dead man. I'll come too.
I guess this is one hand I'll just have to play out.
Now then, Ione, we sort of got turned around. Whereabouts is the southeast corner?
There. I can see it from here. And I can see him in his long coat. Oh, Lord, I knew it. I knew it. I've gone and got a man killed. See? See? Connie Miller lying here by the grave, dead.
Put it out, Johnny Rob. You're acting like a baby.
It isn't your fault, boy.
No?
What happened? What really happened? The whole story's right in front of you. Look at it.
I'm looking. And all I see is Connie with a knife through his coattail so he couldn't run. Oh, he must have been powerful scared.
Well, he was more courageous than I thought. He came. He knelt by the grave, see? Right there's his knee prints.
What are you getting at, Steinhardt? Somebody caught him here and pinned him to the ground. You don't think he did that to himself, do you?
He pulled the knife from his belt. He thrust it into the grave like this. But the wind was strong, as it is now, and it blew his coat tail over the grave. And being so dark, he didn't notice that he'd put the knife blade through his own coat tail, pinning it down.
You mean?
Then he started to rise. As he did so, when he was perhaps halfway up, he felt a sudden tug, the knife holding his coat tail. But in his mind, Pinto had reached out and grabbed him. He was already scared half to death. This finished him. His heart gave out. That's all.
That's what happened. It is, isn't it, Corcoran? Tell me, we ain't to blame, are we?
What he says makes sense. Fact is, proof is all there. Kind of killed himself in a manner of speaking.
Is that what you think?
What's she saying?
Now, there you are, Bud. Your plate, remember? So, You think Connie's death was an accident? That he stuck the knife in the hem of his own coat?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me this. How did his coat tail get over the grave like that?
For some reason or other, because he was in such a hurry, he left it unbuttoned. Yeah, and the wind must have done the rest.
What direction was the wind from last night?
South. Why?
The south, same as now. And I'm standing in exactly the same spot Connie was.
You are right enough.
Look at my cloak. Look at it. Is the wind blowing it across the grave now?
No. It's blowing out behind you.
So it couldn't blow the opposite way, could it? Not today, and not last night.
Then how?
Something would have had to reach out and pull it in the other direction, so it spread over the grave in front of him. That's only logical. Don't you agree?
Well,
I'm afraid the lady's right.
Morning to you, gentlemen. I'll be getting home now. Don't worry. I can find my way.
Final comment. You can take this with a grain of salt or a shovelful of earth, according to your preference, as either shadow or substance. We leave it up to you. And for those who are interested in a further search for truth, one suggestion. You might begin by checking under G for ghosts in the Twilight Zone.
More from the Twilight Zone after this.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
The Grave, starring Michael Rooker with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Montgomery Pittman. Heard in the cast were Mike Starr, Doug James, Jeff Lupetin, Linda Ryder, David Darlow, Christian Stolte, Bob Dunsworth, Carl Amari, Vince Amari, and Roger Wolski. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises, Carol Serling, Dennis Etchison, Dick Brescia Associates, Claire Simon Casting, Terry Jennings, XM Satellite Radio, Sirius Satellite Radio, our sponsors, and our radio affiliates for helping make this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition. It lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. Welcome to Maple Street, USA, late summer. A safe, tree-lined world away from the big city. A nice, old-fashioned place to raise a family. Good friends, well-kept lawns, and the laughter of children at play. There's Mr. Steve Brand, who just finished washing his shiny new car with some help from a good neighbor.
Hand me the rag, will you, Don? I want to polish this baby before the sun goes down.
Sure. Hey, I can get the tires for you.
It's okay. It's almost dark.
Throw me the ball! If you can catch it. Hey, the ice cream man!
Look at that. Ice cream before dinner.
Why not? They deserve it.
Well, as long as their mothers don't find out.
What'll it be, boys?
Fudsicle.
Coming right up.
And a rocket popsicle.
This one's got your name on it, Tommy.
At the sound of the roar and the flash of unearthly light, it will be precisely 6:43, and time for another era to begin in this otherwise perfect neighborhood.
Whoa! Look at that!
What was that?
I don't know. What was it?
Must be some kind of new jet.
What was that? A meteor?
That's what it looked like. I didn't hear any crash, though, did you?
No, I didn't hear anything except a roar.
Steve? What was that?
Beats me, honey. Came awful close, didn't it?
Too close to home, much too close.
What the heck?
A police helicopter?
Did you see how fast it was going?
6:44 p.m. on a late September evening, the last calm and reflective moments before the monsters came to Maple Street.
And now, back to our story from the Twilight Zone. The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, starring Frank John Hughes, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Operator? Operator? Bill, there's something wrong with the phone. What are you doing out there?
Trying to start the power mower.
In the dark?
Well, I wanted to finish the lawn. The motor wouldn't work.
Did you plug in the cord?
Sure did.
Steve, where are you?
Right here, honey.
I just washed my hair and the blow dryer stopped. Then I put soup in the microwave, but it's still cold. We must have blown a fuse. Can you fix it?
I don't think so.
Why not?
It looks like the whole block.
The power's off in our house, too. I can't get anybody on the phone, and the TV went out.
Electricity's off.
Phone's
I
dead.
tried the radio, but...
Computer doesn't even work.
Who's that?
Who is that?
I can't tell. It's too dark.
Hi, neighbor.
Oh, hi, Charlie. Who's that behind you?
It's just me, Pete Van Horn.
Still dark down the street?
Yep, all the streetlights are out.
Where are you going?
I thought I'd check it out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll cut through your backyard, Steve, if you don't mind.
Hey, what for?
See if they got power over on Floral Street.
Sure. Go ahead.
You need a flashlight?
Nope, I know my way around.
Well, good luck. Let us know.
All right, be right back then.
We've got some candles in the house. Maybe I should go get them.
Not yet. Give it a few more minutes.
Did you see what was on his belt?
What?
A claw hammer.
Oh, he always carries that.
How come?
He's a carpenter.
Yeah, but what does he need a hammer for at night?
I don't know.
For protection?
From what? Steve, what's going on?
I wish I knew, honey.
You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
How do you mean?
Well, why should the power go off all of a sudden?
And the phone lines.
Maybe some sort of electrical storm or something.
Nah, that don't seem likely. I mean, the sky was just as blue as anything today. No lightning, no thunder, no nothing. How could it be a storm? I can't get a thing on the radio. Not even the portable.
So we can't call the power company.
Well, why don't we check with the police?
How?
Well, you could drive downtown to that new car of yours.
I suppose I could.
They'll probably think we're nuts, though. A little power failure, and right away we get all flustered and bent out of shape.
It isn't just a power failure, Charlie. If it was, we'd still be able to get a broadcast on the portable.
Well, we ought to do something.
I'll run into town, and we'll get this straightened out.
Are you sure, Steve? Maybe we should all stay together.
Just take a few minutes, and then at least we'll know.
Do you want me to come with you?
No, you wait here. Go in the house if you want and light some candles.
What's the matter with the car?
I don't understand. It was working fine this afternoon.
Out of gas?
I just filled up.
Well, then it's not getting a spark. Look under the hood.
Well, it could be a lot of things. I wouldn't know where to start. especially at night.
That could be the distributor cap.
But it's new. It's supposed to be under warranty.
What's it mean?
Mean?
All these things happening at once.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just a coincidence. Next time I try the car, it'll probably start just fine.
I don't know. It's as if everything flat out stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's pretty strange if you ask me.
We better walk downtown.
How many? I mean, some of us should stay here and watch the houses.
The two of us can go, Charlie, you and me.
You think it's the meteor?
Well, I really doubt it. I don't see how it could be if that's what it was. A meteor couldn't do this.
Well, then we'll find out. Turn it over to the authorities.
Yeah, they'll know what to do.
They better. That's what we pay them for. Come on, Steve.
Mr. Brand,
Yes, Tommy?
you better not.
Better not what?
Go into town.
Why not?
They don't want you to.
Who doesn't want us to?
Them.
Them?
Whoever was in that thing that flew over.
What?
Whoever was in it. I don't think they want us to leave here.
Fool kid.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
They don't want us to. That's why they shut everything off.
What makes you say that?
Now, isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard?
Tommy, I asked you a question. Whatever gave you that idea?
It's always that way.
Always?
Well, when a ship lands from outer space.
Oh, come on now.
It's that way in every story.
Which story?
All of them. It could be the mothership or just, a scout.
Yeah, you mean one of those smaller spaceships? Oh, sure. Yeah, a flying saucer, something like that.
They watch everything we do.
Why?
I missed something.
I don't know that either. But they're checking us out.
All the way from outer space.
Sure. That's where they come from. Don't you know anything?
For what reason?
Well, for the invasion.
An invasion from space yet. Sally, you better get that boy of yours off to bed. He's been reading too many comic books or seeing too many science fiction movies or something. Tommy, come over here and stop that kind of talk.
Go with your mother, Tommy. We'll be right back, and you'll see. That wasn't any kind of ship, for crying out loud. That was just a meteor or something. I guess it did have something to do with these power failures and the rest of it. Meteors can do strange things. I think I read something about it.
Oh, sure. Like sunspots.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing sunspots do. They raise Cain with radio reception all over the world.
That part's definitely true.
And this thing coming so close, why? I mean, there's no telling the sort of stuff it can do. Yeah, you go ahead, Steve. You and Charlie go into town and see if that isn't what's causing it all.
All right, then. We're going.
Mr. Brand, please don't.
Come on. You want us just to stand right here in one spot?
You might not be able to get to town.
Why not?
It was that way in the story. Nobody could leave. Nobody except...
Except who?
He's talking about some video game.
Hold on. I want to hear this. Except who, Tommy?
Except the people they sent down ahead of them. Well, they look just like people. You'd never know the difference. It wasn't till the ship landed
Tommy, please, son, please don't talk that way.
Right. The kid shouldn't say stuff like that. And we shouldn't stand here listening to him. Why, this is the silliest thing I ever heard. He tells us a comic book plot and we stand around listening like fools.
Go ahead, Tommy. I want to hear what you've got to say. The whole thing. What kind of story was this? And what about the people they sent ahead?
That was the way they got ready for the landing. They sent 4 people. A mother and father and 2 kids who looked just like humans. But they weren't.
Well, I guess that's it then. What we better do is run a check on the neighborhood and see which one of us are really human. How does that sound to everybody?
There must be something better to do than just stand around making bum jokes about it.
Well, like what?
Well, for instance, I wonder if Floral Street's got the same deal we got.
Hey, where's Pete Van Horn?
Didn't he get back yet?
Can't see a blessed thing. Hey, who's that?
It's Les Goodman. See him there across the street? He went out and got in his car just like that. Now, where's he going at a time like this? Looks like he isn't going anywhere.
Hey, Les.
Can't you get it started?
No dice.
That sounds like the battery's dead.
It shouldn't be. It's charged up.
Could be the starter.
Oh, this car always works like clockwork. I get behind the wheel in the morning and it goes. It never fails.
Unless it's something electrical.
Such as? Who did that?
Nobody. It just started.
All by itself?
But that can't be. Cars don't just start all by themselves. Do they, Steve?
Of course not.
Not without the keys. I got them right here in my hand.
Well, this one did. How come his car just up and started like that?
How could it?
Yeah, how could it start by itself? He wasn't anywhere near it.
And he never did come out to look at that thing that flew over. He wasn't even interested.
He was too busy.
Busy with what?
Why? Why didn't he come out with the rest of us to look?
He always was an oddball. Him and his whole family. Real oddballs.
What do you say we ask him?
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute.
What for?
Let's not turn into a mob here.
Listen to me.
Let him talk.
I don't understand it either. I tried to start it. It wouldn't start. You saw me. All of you saw me.
Sure we did.
What are you telling us, Les? That there's something going on here?
I'm not telling you anything. I don't understand it either. I swear I don't understand anything about tonight.
What don't you understand?
What's happening?
Well, maybe you better tell us the whole story.
What story?
Well, here's the way I see it. Nothing's working on this street. Nothing. No lights, no power, no radio, no TV. Nothing except one car. And guess whose it is? Yours.
Yeah, that's right.
Now don't go jumping to conclusions. We don't have all the facts yet.
He's getting back in his car.
Well, why shouldn't he? It's his.
No, you don't. We need some answers. And we need them now.
Hold it right there. You keep your distance, all of you.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
So I've got a car that starts by itself. Well, that's a freak thing, I admit it. But does that make me some kind of criminal or something? I don't know why the car works. It just does.
We're all on a monster kick, Les. Seems that general impression holds that maybe one family isn't what we think they are. Monsters from outer space or something.
You never can be sure. Could have been a spy plane.
On Maple Street? Right. How'd they get here? Or were they here all along?
Well, that thing, it could have been a missile. You never know.
A bomb, you mean? An ICBM? Did you hear it explode? Did you?
Well, no.
I'll tell you what's going on. You're afraid of anything that's different. Fifth columnists from the vast beyond. Listen to yourselves. You know anybody that might fit that description, Les? On Maple Street?
No, I sure don't.
I don't either. And neither does anybody else.
Look at that!
At what? It's his porch light.
It went on.
Yeah, the only one that's on.
So who turned it on, huh?
Now I suppose that's really supposed to incriminate me.
Take it easy.
The light goes on and off. Something in the wiring. Big deal. That really seals it, doesn't it?
Move back, everybody.
Why should we?
This is Les's porch. His yard.
That doesn't matter anymore.
Sure it does. It's his property.
I just don't understand this. So I've got a bad switch.
You never did before.
Look, you all know me.
Of course they do.
We've lived here for 5 years, right in this house.
Now, where'd you move here from?
Will you let him talk?
We're no different than any of the rest of you. We're no different at all. Really, this whole thing is just weird.
Well, if that's the case, Les Goodman, explain why...
Explain what? Why do I have to explain anything to you or anybody else?
Never mind.
Go ahead. What about it? Explain what?
Well...
Go on. Just say it.
Well, sometimes I go to bed late at night. A couple of times I'd come out on the porch and I'd see Mr. Goodman here in the wee hours of the morning, standing out in front of his house.
Then what was he doing?
Looking.
Looking where? In somebody's window?
No, up at the sky.
What?
That's right, looking up at the sky as if he were waiting for something.
For a signal?
Well, I really couldn't say.
Think. What did you see him do?
I'd like all of you to leave now.
You stay away from us.
Or what? You know, really, this is a bad joke. You know what I'm guilty of? I'm guilty of insomnia. Now, what's the penalty for that? Is that a crime now, too? Well, is it? Doesn't anybody have anything to say about that?
Let it go. Nobody said...
No! Did you hear what I said? I said it was insomnia.
They heard.
You fools. You scared, frightened rabbits. You're sick. Sick people. Do you know that? All of you.
Hey, easy.
And you don't know what you're getting into. You don't have any idea. Because let me tell you, this thing you're starting, that should be what really frightens you. As God is my witness, you're letting something begin here that could turn into a nightmare you can't stop.
Les, I brought you a glass of milk. Refrigerator's off, but it's still cold.
Put the candle out.
Why?
Just do it.
What are all those people doing across the street? Why are they just standing there?
I said put the candle out, now.
Are they still watching our house?
That's right.
What do they expect to see?
A red monkey.
What?
I remember a science article I read once.
Which article?
About an experiment.
What made you think of that?
It was in a laboratory. They set up a kind of zoo with all these monkeys. They made sure they were comfortable, had plenty to eat, let them go about their business. All different kinds of monkeys. And for a while, they all got along just fine.
Les, what does this have to do with all
And
the...
one day, the scientists painted one of the monkeys another color. Red or green or something, I don't remember. Just one of them. And you know what happened? All the other monkeys turned on it, and they tore the red monkey apart. Killed it right there on the spot for no reason.
Oh, Les, that is a horrible story.
No reason except it was a little bit too different. I suppose that was enough for the monkeys. Do we still have that gun?
What?
My dad's old service pistol. I had it packed in the attic. I was wondering, do you think it's still there?
I'm gonna wait right here no matter how long it takes.
For what, Charlie?
It just doesn't seem right, keeping watch on them like this.
Well, what else are we supposed to do?
Now, Charlie, he was right when he said he was one of our neighbors. One of our good neighbors. Think about it. Why, I've known Ethel Goodman ever since they moved in. We go shopping together once a week. We've been friends for...
That don't prove a thing.
Well, it's worth something.
Any guy who spends his time looking up at the sky early in the morning, all alone, well, there's something plain wrong with that kind of person.
Haven't you ever looked in the sky?
And why would I do that?
The stars, Charlie. The constellations. I had a pair of binoculars when I was a kid. I knew the names of every one.
Yeah, when you were a kid. But there's something about that, well, it ain't legitimate here. Maybe under normal circumstances we could let it go by, but these aren't normal circumstances. What more do you need? Do I have to spell it out for you?
I guess you do.
Look at the street. Our street. Now there's nothing but candles everywhere. It's like going back to the Dark Ages or something.
Yes, it is.
Where are you going, Mr. Brand?
To visit an old friend. Les?
You don't have to knock. Anybody wants me, I'm right here.
Come on, Les.
Steve, is that you?
Stay right where you are. We don't want any trouble.
No trouble, I promise. Not if I have anything to say about it.
But this time, if anybody sets foot on my porch, that's what they're going to get. Trouble.
Look, Les.
I've already explained to you people.
You people? Is that who we are now?
And I'm not going to explain again.
You don't have to explain anything.
I don't sleep very well at night. Sometimes I get up and take a walk, and I look up at the sky. I keep track of the meteor showers, shooting stars. They come at different times of the year, at odd hours. You can read about it in National Geographic. Don't you know that?
Sure I do.
That's exactly what he does. He always has.
I understand.
Why, this whole thing, it's been blown out of all proportion. It's ridiculous.
I know.
It's some kind of madness or something.
That's what it is, all right. Some kind of madness.
Then what can we do to stop it?
At this point, that is the question.
You best watch who you're seen with, Steve.
Who's that?
You ain't exactly above suspicion yourself.
Or you, Charlie.
Or any of us, it seems, from age 8 on up.
Come inside, Steve.
No. There's no reason to hide.
What I'd like to know is, what are we going to do? Just stand around here all night?
There's nothing else we can do. Till then, we stand watch. One of them will tip their hand. You'll see. They've got to.
There's something you can do, Charlie.
Oh, you're telling me what to do?
You could go home and keep your mouth shut.
Oh, yeah?
You could quit strutting around like a self-appointed hanging judge and just climb into bed and forget it.
You sound real anxious to have that happen, Steve.
Oh, I am.
In that case, I think we better keep a real close eye on you, too.
You do that.
I think everything might as well come out now.
Good idea.
Steve, your wife's done plenty of talking about you lately.
She what?
About your habits. You're plenty odd, too, it sounds like.
And when did you talk to my wife?
Go ahead. Tell us what she said.
Yes, go ahead. What's my wife said? Let's get it all out.
Yeah, let's.
Why not? Let's pick out every idiosyncrasy about every single man, woman, and child on this street and put them under a microscope like bugs.
Are you afraid of the truth, buddy?
You think you know what the truth is?
If you got nothing to hide...
Then why don't we go all the way and set up some kind of kangaroo court? How about a firing squad at dawn, Charlie, so we can get rid of all the suspects? Narrow them down, make it easier for you. And for you too, Don, old buddy.
Hey, look, there's no need getting so upset, Steve.
Then why are you?
Well, it's just that, well...
Well, what?
Myra's talked about how there's been plenty of nights when you spend hours and hours down in your basement, working on some kind of radio equipment or something.
Oh, for the love of...
Got a regular electronics lab down there, she says. Well, none of us have ever seen that radio, now have we? Or whatever it is. How come you never told us about it?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. What kind of radio set you working on? Shortwave or something else? I've never seen it, and neither has anyone else around here.
It's a hobby, for God's sake.
Who do you talk to on that radio? And who talks to you? What kind of messages you sending, huh? And receiving.
I'm surprised at you, Charlie. How come you're so dense all of a sudden?
What does that mean?
Who do I talk to? Well, who do you think? I talk to monsters from outer space.
There, he admitted it.
I talk to three-headed green men who fly over in what look like meteors. That is, when I'm not talking to other enemies, other aliens.
Steve, please.
Go back in the house, honey.
It's a ham radio, that's all. I bought him a book on it for his birthday. It's just an amateur radio set. A lot of people have them. It's good for keeping in touch with friends all over the world.
Oh, yeah? What friends? In which country?
Does it matter?
It matters a lot.
I can show it to you. Would that make you feel better? It's right down in the basement.
Show them nothing. If they want to look inside our house, let them go get a search warrant.
Look, you can't afford to...
Charlie, don't tell me what I can afford. Stop telling me who's dangerous and who's safe and who's a menace.
Come inside now.
And the rest of you, you're with them too, aren't you? You're standing here all set to crucify, all set to find a scapegoat, all desperate to point your fingers at your neighbor. Well, now look, friends. The only thing that's gonna happen is that we'll all end up eating each other alive. Get your hand off me, Charlie.
That's not the only thing that can happen to us.
What's that? Who? Tommy, get inside and lock the door.
It's the monster! It's the monster!
No, Tommy!
We may need this.
A shotgun? Give me that.
Don't try to take it away from me.
Put it down. We can't even see who it is yet. It could be anybody.
It don't look like anybody. At least not from around here. It looks tall, real tall and dark, and...
That's because the streetlights are off.
Well, whoever it is, it can go right back where it came from.
Oh, it's an it now, not a who.
Give me the gun.
But you don't know who...
Stand aside if you're not going to help.
Good Lord, will anybody take the time to think?
We've done enough thinking.
Will you people wise up? Even if it is what you say it is, what good would a gun do against something like that? Some sort of enemy? Something you don't even have a name for yet? Something that...
No more words, Steve. You're gonna talk us into a grave. Whatever's out there in the street, you'd let walk right over us, wouldn't you? Well, some of us won't. Some of us are man enough to stand up for what we believe in.
What do you believe?
Quiet! Here it comes!
You got him, Charlie!
One shot. Pretty good, huh?
Take a look.
No.
Take a look. Take a good, long look and see what you've done, you murderers.
It's Pete Van Horn!
I thought he was going to go over to the next block to see if the power was on.
You killed him, Charlie. You shot him dead.
But I didn't know who it was. I sure didn't. He comes walking out of the shadows like that. How am I supposed to know who he was?
Then why did you shoot?
Steve, you know why. Tell him, huh? How was I supposed to know he wasn't one of the monsters or something?
You make me sick to my stomach.
Dad, we're all scared of the same thing. I was trying to protect my home and my neighborhood, that's all, like anybody would. Look, all of you, that's what I was trying to do.
Hey, you're the one, not me. You did it.
I didn't know it was one of us. I swear I didn't know.
Look, over there.
What is it?
A light just went on.
Where?
In that upstairs bedroom.
Which one?
Charlie, the lights just went on.
Where?
In your house.
I don't know nothing about that.
Why did your lights just go on?
Yeah, what about it, Charlie?
Oh, back off.
Hey, how come you're the only one with lights on now?
Yes. Why don't you tell us? It's something I'd certainly like to know. To be honest, I'm curious.
Hey, come on.
You were so quick to kill, Charlie.
It was an accident.
And you were so quick to tell us who we had to be careful of. Well, come to think of it, maybe you had to kill.
Had to?
Maybe Pete there was trying to tell us something.
What do you mean?
Maybe he found out something and came back to tell us who there was amongst us we should watch out for.
No, it's nothing like that. I don't know why the lights are on. I swear I don't. Look, somebody's pulling a gag or something.
A gag? A gag, Charlie? There's a dead man on the sidewalk and you killed him. Does this look like a gag to you?
No, please!
I'll get him.
Charlie, over here in the house. It must have been Charlie.
We gotta get him.
Well, we'll take care of him.
Charlie, the glass, you're cut.
Get behind me.
I'll get a bandage.
I don't need it.
Quick, they're coming.
Now, all of you, listen.
Listen to what?
Why should we? You said plenty already.
I swear to you, I swear it isn't me.
Then who is it?
But I know who it is. I do.
Sure you do.
I know who the monster is here.
Who is it?
I know who it is. It doesn't belong. I give you my word. I know.
What are you waiting for then?
Oh, please, Les, come away.
Not yet.
What are you waiting for? A flash of red?
What are you talking about?
The monkeys, Les. Remember, you told me about it. The monkeys.
I want to hear this. Go in the house and wait for me.
I'll go in the house, but I may not be there when you come home.
If you just hear me out.
Come on, Charlie, come on.
Who is it, Charlie? Tell us.
All right, quit stalling. Let's hear it.
It's...
Go ahead.
Give us a name.
It's the kid. It's Tommy. He's the one.
No.
How can it be?
It has to be.
Mom. That's crazy. Crazy. He's a child. He's my little boy. But he knew. He was the only one who knew. He told us all about it. Every little detail. Well, how did he know? How could he have known? Can you tell us that, Sally?
Yeah, that's right.
How could he?
Make the kid talk. What about Goodman's car, though?
Well, it was Charlie who killed Old Man Horn. Nobody could argue with that. Just shut him up.
But it was the kid who knew what was going to happen the whole time. He was the one who knew.
Have you all gone crazy? Stop it, every one of you, now!
You better shut up, Brad.
Or what?
This.
Charlie has to be the one. He's just lying to save his own skin. It all adds up now. Where's my shotgun?
I'll get the hammer off Old Man Horn.
Maybe Les Goodman is the one. His car started.
Let's wreck it before he gets away.
What about Brand's radio? He's the one who called them.
Smash the radio.
Les.
Give me the hammer. Something.
I got a 22.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Steve, we gotta get out of here.
Too late. It's too late.
Get Steve and Charlie. They're working together.
You better listen to me. It's our only chance. Where's the kid?
No, you stay away from us.
Mom!
Let's go, Tommy. Stay with me. We're going home now.
Hey, he's getting away.
Leave us be.
I could get a shot.
You missed. Give me that thing.
You gotta aim. Here.
What's that?
Where?
The light over there in that house. It just went on.
That's Bob Weaver's place.
And it isn't the kid.
That isn't the Weaver's house.
It's Don Martin's place.
I tell you, it's the kid.
It's Charlie. He's the one.
Hold on, there's lights in the house next door to it going off and on.
And that one.
And that one.
Which one is it?
It's all of them.
It can't be everybody.
It is. Look.
Blinking on and off. Up and down the block like a Christmas tree about to blow.
Look at them down there. They've started a fire. Humans. They didn't last long. They never do. No defenses. Then our job will be easy. Understand the procedure now? Clearly. We stopped some of their primitive machines. Radios, televisions, telephones. And throw them in the darkness for a few Earth hours. a few minutes and observe the pattern. This pattern is always the same, with subtle variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, their own kind. All we need to do is watch and wait. And I take it this place, this Maple Street, is not unique. By no means. Their world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to another, and let them destroy themselves, one by one by one. Time to return to the ship. For now. Tell the fleet we're ready. If we even need them.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and missiles, with explosions and fallout and invading armies. The most dangerous weapons are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudice can kill and suspicion can destroy. And a thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout and a contamination all its own. For the children, our children, and those yet to be born. And the vast universal pity of it is that such things cannot be safely confined to the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, starring Frank John Hughes with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Rod Serling. Heard in the cast were Adam Tangway, Mike Aljadeff, Tony Castillo, Laura Russell, Linda Ryder, Turk Moeller, Rick Komanik, Peggy Roeder, Heather Ann Preet, Sammy Giampapa, Anthony Giampapa, Jeff Lubiton, Don Longo, Carl Amari, Roger Wolski, and Doug James. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking. The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, starring Robert Nepper with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for the Twilight Zone by Montgomery Pittman. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Jason Mallow for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are those of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Come on, let's take a look in the window. How are we gonna do that? Climb up. Aw, just sneak in. Not me. I ain't going to church. No Sunday school today. We could open the door and take a peek. Nah, we couldn't see him. Where is he? In the box, in front of where the preacher's standing. I thought he was supposed to be in a coffin. Silly fool. That's what the box is. A coffin. Oh, well, I gotta see that. Yeah, me too. But I told you, we gotta look in the window. What are we gonna climb up on? The rain barrel. Over here. I'll show you.
Thank you, Sister Ruth. That was mighty fine playing.
Yes, sir. Amen. Yes, sir.
Now then, to get to it. Brothers and sisters, we're meeting here today so we can pay our respects to one of our own. Our dear departed brother, Jefferson Myrtlebank.
Oh, bless his soul.
There's his family. Yep, you all know him. His pa,
Reverend Siddons.
Henry, and his ma.
Very fine.
Thank you, Reverend.
God bless you, Ethel. And little Liz Myrtlebank ain't but 10 years old.
Bless her heart. Look at her.
What an absence.
We all know Jeff Myrtlebank. He was a good boy.
Yes,
Fine young man.
Oh, real good fun.
That he was, Miss Gatewood.
Oh, Mama. Take my hanky, Comfort.
Comfort Gatewood, you go ahead and mourn for that fine, fine young man that's laid out in his coffin. There wasn't none better in these parts.
Not a one. Not a one. Absolutely.
Oh, he didn't always show up here on Sundays, but nobody ever saw him at the bootleggers on Saturday night either.
As they come.
No.
But the Lord giveth, and he taketh away. And no man knoweth the reason.
As it's written.
We're all gonna miss this strapping youth. The good Lord must have had a powerful, powerful reason to take him so young in life.
Oh, my. What is that?
Did you hear that?
But we all know the Lord moves in mysterious ways. His wonders to perform.
What is going on?
Look!
It can't be!
Is that him?
Big as life.
What in the...
Who put me in this here box?
He's alive!
It's a miracle. It's the devil's work.
Praise God! Praise God! Hallowed be thy name!
Now, will somebody please tell me what is going on here?
It's a funeral, Jeff.
Oh, yeah? Whose is it?
Well, it's yours.
Don't nobody run a mile now. I'm alive, I tell you. Alive!
Time, the mid-1920s. Place, the Midwest. The southernmost section of the Midwest, in the state of Arkansas, to be exact. This particular area hasn't changed much since the Civil War, though progress has brought an easier way of life to some, provided it doesn't cost too much to achieve that progress. The church is a simple one-story wood-frame building. It hasn't been painted for some time, and there's a chimney in the roof for winter heating. The faithful come to this church on foot, a few in their Model Ts, and some still in horse-drawn wagons, for this is a population that can't afford to change with the times. They're all hard-working, God-fearing folks who believe in the good book, and today they've come to say goodbye to one of their own, a certain Mr. Jeffrey Myrtlebank, age 26. Only it seems that the funeral in question will have to be postponed. It may be a bit premature, thanks to some unexpected intervention from the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, starring Robert Nepper with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
me. Let me out, please. Please let me out. Excuse me. I'm getting out of here.
Where's everybody going? Don't leave on my account.
Easy, Jeff. Take it easy now.
He can talk.
Stand back.
Don't touch him. Come on, somebody tell me. Who in thunderation put me in that pine box?
Now, brethren. Let's not give way to panic. What we got here is a little mistake.
Little? Brother Siddons.
Why don't you sit down on the steps?
'Cause I don't need to sit down. I feel fine, don't you?
Jeff? Is that really you?
Course it is, Ma.
You're looking a little pale, son.
Just a minute, Pa. Brother Siddons, you still seem to have some sense left. What's going on around here?
Tell him, Reverend.
Son, we was about to bury you.
Bury?
We was real certain you died.
Me?
Dead as a doornail.
But that's foolishness.
Doc Bolton pronounced you deceased.
When was that?
Oh, day before yesterday.
That's right, son. Hold on, Pa. Doc, why would you go and do a thing like that?
Well, now, your heart stopped beating. Yes, sir, it sure did. I was at your bedside.
We all were.
My heart? But it couldn't have. It's beating right now. Here, feel it.
It wasn't but 2 days ago. You was sick, son. Real sick.
He's speaking the truth, Jeff.
Well, I'm sure glad you didn't embalm me.
A miracle is what it is. How do you feel now, boy?
Pretty good, I guess. Kinda weak, but rested, like I had a good night's sleep. Hungry, though. Real hungry. I could about eat a bear, hide and all.
Reckon you should be hungry. Ain't et for 3 days.
Well, don't look so surprised, Ma. You too, Pa. It's me, all right?
It surely is, boy.
I'd know my Jeff anywhere.
Hope you got a good supper on the stove.
You sure it's him, Ma?
Little Liz, what's the matter? Don't you know your own brother? You're not thinking I'm a ghost, are you?
Ma, don't go touching her just yet.
Well, I'll be double-dogged. My own folks is afraid of me. How about the rest of you? Comfort? You here, too?
Jeff, I don't rightly know what to say.
Now just you hold off from touching my sister.
What for? By dang, I'll bet she ain't scared. Not the man she's gonna marry.
Maybe Orkram is right. Hold back your touch now.
That the way you feel, Comfort?
Well, I don't know.
I reckon maybe you are, at that. Little Liz, where are you? Let go of Ma's skirts. You're not as scared of me, are you, honey?
Well...
Lizzie?
You fooled him, didn't you, Jeff?
Yes, honey, I fooled him. Give me a hug now.
You swear you're really and truly my boy, Jeff?
None other. In the flesh.
Praise be, son. Come on home where you belong.
Look at
They're a family again.
brings a tear to my eye. Give me your hanky.
I know what it is. Listen to me. I know what it is.
What's that, Doc?
It's a medical miracle, and it happened right here in our county. Now, the scientific term is ipso-suspendoanimation.
Say that again?
Very rare. In fact, there have been only, let's see now, 30 cases in the last 1,500 years.
You sure you ain't trying to cover up your own miscalculation, Doc? I never heard of no sickness like that.
Not likely you would. 30 cases in 1,500 years, and all of them in Europe.
But everybody's going to hear about this one as soon as I write it up for the medical journal.
I don't know if I want to be famous, Doc. Can't we just keep this twixt ourselves?
Best thing you can do is to stop trying to slander my name and get this boy home.
I do feel kind of weak.
Give him a bowl of soup. Put him to bed. He's going to need his rest.
Bless you, Doc. We'll do that. Come on now, Jeff. We're going home.
Soon as I crank the car.
If I could just sit down for a minute.
Oh, you go ahead, son. Right here on the running board.
Jeff, can I speak to you?
Go ahead.
Sorry I acted funny. It was so sudden. You're taking sick and all. I like to cry my eyes out.
Did you?
But now, I don't have to cry anymore, do I?
Not one bit.
I just want to say, it sure is nice to have you back.
Well, thank you kindly, Comfort, honey. But you know something?
What's that, Jeff?
Truth be told, I ain't never been away.
How does everybody like their breakfast this morning? Hey, Pa, you ever gonna come up for air from that catalog? Is that all you can do? Grunt?
It's good, Mama.
Why, thank you, Lizzie. How about you, Jeff?
Great, Ma. Real great.
Another biscuit? Plenty more where that came from.
No, thank you. I'll bust a gut. Besides, time's a wasted.
You're in an all-fired hurry.
Think I'll run over to the East 40 and get at that fence.
I wish you wouldn't. Tell him, Ethan. Will you put that catalog down? I'm talking to you.
Listen to your ma, Jeffrey.
I'm listening.
It's only been 2 weeks since you was at the brink of the grave. You oughtn't be toiling from sunup to sundown every day.
Oh, I feel fine, Ma. Never felt better.
Just the same, I'd rest easier if in you...
Be back for lunch, Ma. See you over there, Pa.
Boy, seems all right to me.
Just the same, I'm a mite concerned.
What about?
I don't like the way he's behaving ever since...
What do you mean, Ma?
He's different. Not like he was at all.
Seems the same to me.
He only ate 2 eggs again.
That's so.
Ever since he sprouted teeth, he's been having 3 eggs at breakfast.
A man's taste can change.
And the way he's going at that hard work, he never was friendly with work before.
That's true enough. I recollect quite a few times being worried that he'd leaned a shade toward this side of shiftlessness.
You mean lazy?
Not exactly.
Just not very interested. But since his sick spell, he's been in there pulling his share like he's trying to catch up for a year of back work. It ain't like him at that.
No, it's sure not.
What are you waiting on, Big Ears?
Nothing, Pa.
Run down to the mailbox and wait for the mailman.
Yes, sir.
I'm expecting a new catalog.
And I hope it gets here. You've about wore that one out.
Hello there, Peters.
Strauss?
Set a spell.
Don't mind if I do.
Nice day.
Tolerable.
Yes, sir. A good day to be alive.
Yep.
Especially if a man weren't alive before.
And who might that be?
Well, now ain't but one in this town.
That's the truth.
What if he was your'n?
Well, sir, I wouldn't want to go to sleep in a house with that boy around.
Oh, no.
They say he's taken to fiddling with things now.
That right. What kind of things?
Axes, plows, cutting blades of all type and description.
Well, what do you know?
Jackknives, hunting knives, you name it.
Ain't that something, though? He was always such a good boy.
Good is as good does. No telling what he's gonna do next.
Gents?
Hello, Doc. We was just discussing the Myrtle Bank boy.
What about him?
We're just wondering about him. Guess you've heard how peculiar he's been acting lately.
I've heard. I'm not one to pass along gossip.
Why don't we just come out and say it? We're all thinking the same thing.
You say it, Petey. You got the floor.
All right, I will. How do we really know that the man who got up and crawled out of that coffin is still Jeff Myrtlebank?
Now, that's crazy.
Is it?
If I were you gentlemen, I wouldn't spread this kind of talk. It could cause trouble.
And what kind of trouble is that?
My grandmother, rest her soul, she used to tell me about evil spirits roaming round the world trying to find a body to take over. She said they could steal a corpse sometimes before a man was good and dead. Just like that. And you know something? I believed her then, and I believe her now.
That's enough. This is dangerous talk. Though I confess, it does throw a little dry kindling on the fire. It's been smoldering in my brain ever since that day at the church.
So what do you figure we should do about it?
Nothing to do. Just keep your ideas to yourself for now, or you'll get people all riled up. We need proof, and that's what we don't have yet. Good day to you, gents.
Day.
Be seeing you, Doc.
It's him.
Get away from the window, girl.
I knew he'd be by.
Comfort's right. It is him. Dag nabbit. Now's the time to tell him. Right to his face.
I won't. Now, I am a grown woman. Almost. And you can't tell me who to see.
Maybe Orgrim is right, dear.
Leave me alone.
But you know what everyone in the county is saying about that boy.
Well, he's not calling on the county. He's calling on me.
You're just plain rotten stubborn. You married that one, and I'll bet all your kids are born with horns on their heads.
Orgrim.
Oh, he's at the door. Okay, you two go in the kitchen and let me entertain my young man.
Mind how you do that, little sister. We'll be listening.
Come along. Comfort's entitled to her privacy.
Well, bless my soul. Look who's here.
Hello, honey.
Come in.
How's your ma and Orgrim?
Oh, just fine. And you? I mean, well, how's your folks?
Same as ever. Only ma's gonna be mad as a hornet tomorrow.
Mad?
Yeah. I raided that vine of tame roses she's so proud of. Thought you might like a little bouquet. I wrapped it up and everything.
You brought me flowers? How sweet. You oughtn't to have done that.
Go on. Put them in some water before they die.
All right, I will. Oh,
What's the matter?
I guess tame flowers don't last long, do they?
Huh?
When'd you pick 'em?
Just before I came over.
Well, look at 'em now. They're dead.
All of them?
Every last one. Dried out. Black as night.
Oh, well, I'll get you some new ones.
That's all right.
Dangest thing I ever saw. Give me a little hug anyway, would you, honey?
Well, why don't we have some music first?
If that's what you want.
I'll wind the Victrola.
You do that. And pick out a record you like.
We bought a new blue yodel last week.
Did you?
Yeah, it's real pretty.
You mean like you?
Oh, silly. You'll like it. Here, let me play it for you.
Can we dance to it?
Oh, just you wait now.
Comfort, honey.
Don't.
What'd I do?
Nothing. Only don't go try touching me.
But I thought you was my girl.
I'm sorry, Jeff. It's just that the way those flowers died.
What about them?
Maybe you've got poison on your hands.
That ain't what's bothering you.
Yes, it is.
I get it everywhere I go. I can let it go by from other folks, but not from you. I'm getting mighty sick and tired of being treated like one of them vampires.
I didn't say that.
Now, are you my girl or aren't you? If you are, give me a kiss.
Jeff, no, please.
Land sakes, child, you look scared half to death.
I'm all right.
What'd he do?
Nothing.
It's time I put a stop to this. I'm the man of the family now.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No? How come your eyes are so wild?
He just got me kind of flustered.
I ain't liked him since we was both 3 years old. And now's the time to do something about it.
You be careful, Orgrim.
Jeff!
What do you want?
I don't want you hanging around here no more.
Let me give you some advice, Orgrim. I'm pretty mad right now. I ain't mad at you in particular, so it'd seem a shame if you got in my way and I took the whole thing out on you.
You threatening me?
That the way you take it?
Man, don't forget who I am.
And who is that?
We go way back. If I had a dime for every time I whooped you, I'd have $100.
True enough. But you haven't whooped me lately. Now get out of my path.
Make me.
If that's the way you want it. Times have changed, Orgrim. Times sure have changed.
Mama? You're bleeding. Oh, my little boy, what's he done to you?
Oh, Mom, I think he broke my jaw.
Don't you worry none. Can you stand?
Poor Jeff.
Poor who?
He doesn't have anybody now.
That's right. And now you don't neither.
Comfort, go and hitch up the team.
I have to go to him.
Hush. We got to get your brother into Dr. Bolton right now.
But Jeff needs me.
He needs a lot more than you can give him, girl. A lot more. Now let's get moving, unless you want to see your brother in a pine box, too.
I ain't that bad, Ma.
No, but if somebody doesn't stop Jeff Myrtlebank in his tracks, this whole town's headed for trouble. It's gonna be just like the good book says. When the dead walk, the end times is near. Easy with him now.
Somebody go get the doc.
Here, put his feet up on t'other chair.
It was that Myrtle Bank boy. He lit into him for no reason. You should have seen it.
He like to broke my jaw.
Hold still.
All right, let's see here. Stand aside. What happened to you?
It was Jeff.
Jeff, or whatever devils took possession of his body. He broke my boy's jaw like he was pounding on the door to hell.
We're living with something evil in our midst.
Oh, come on now, Petey.
I mean it. We gotta put a stop to this. We have to, sooner or later, and I, for one, can't see any reason for putting it off.
Yeah, that's right. Now, here you go. Come on now.
Where's she going?
Come on, horses.
Comfort, Gatewood, you come back here right now.
Sorry, Mama. I gotta go to him.
How was your dinner, son?
Good as usual, Ma. You're the best cook for miles around.
Oh, now.
It's true. You know just how to make it.
Jeff, you help your sister with her homework.
I don't have any, Ma.
Yes, you do. Reading and writing and your numbers.
But, Ma...
Rest a while, Lizzie. I gotta smoke my pipe first.
Not in here, if you please. Your pa's tobacco is bad enough.
Be back in a minute. That you, Comfort?
Hello, Jeff.
You come out here all alone?
That I did.
Well, I sure can't think what for, after today.
I rode out to warn you.
Warn me? You think I need warning?
There's a group of men coming. I heard them in town.
They are, huh? What do they want?
They're gonna ask you to move.
Move where?
Out of the county.
That's so. Well, all I can say is, let 'em come.
Jeff, please, at least get inside.
I can't do that, Comfort. This here is my property. Always has been. And what I like to do of an evening is stand out here and smoke my pipe. Same as ever.
This is serious, Jeff. They're not kidding.
Neither am I.
Jeff, I'm begging you.
What do you say about it, Comfort? You with them? Or with me?
I reckon I love you. Or else I wouldn't be here now.
I reckon you do. And I love you too. I want to marry you. So which way is it going to be? You best make up your mind right now.
Oh, Jeff.
There he is.
All the girls with him.
So this is where she took the wagon. I should have figured.
Let's stick together. We know what we're going to do, right? Do we know what we're doing?
Gents?
Now listen here, Jeff.
You get on home, Comfort.
Don't be telling me what to do, Orgram.
Well, might late to be driving all this way out here, ain't it?
Jeff, we want to talk to you.
You know this is private property, don't you?
Now, hold on. We come here to speak our piece as a committee.
You did, huh?
Yeah, we're speaking for the town. We all talked it over, and we reached a conclusion.
Well, now, why don't you just come out with it? You know you're going to anyway.
Well, our conclusion is Jeff Myrtlebank is dead.
We don't rightly know who you are or where you come from.
But we think you stole Jeff's body. 'Cause Jeff sure couldn't have whooped me all by himself.
Time to fess up. What do you say?
I'm waiting to hear what Comfort has to say. I asked her a question just now. She ain't answered yet.
This ain't about her. Come over here, buy me comfort.
No, Orgram, I won't. Jeff,
Yes, Comfort? I'm listening.
I reckon I'm with you. No matter where we have to go.
Stand behind me, then.
Do that, Comfort. Ma won't let you come home. Not ever. Take your choice.
Well, I just made it.
Gents, my wife-to-be and me was born and raised in this county. We like it just fine here, and we don't aim to raise our kids anywhere else.
Now, hold on.
Let me finish. I heard you out.
Let him speak.
We're gonna stay. Now, that means just two things. One, if y'all are wrong about me, you got nothing to worry about. I'm just an old country boy named Jeff Myrtlebank. But if you're right about me, then you folks better start treating me nice.
Is that a threat? I don't know.
Because you don't know what all kind of devilment I can cause.
Hold on a second. I don't know.
I might wave my right hand and bring droves of locusts to eat all your crops.
Stay away from my crop.
Or I might wave my left hand and dry up all your wells.
I don't care.
I might even snap my fingers and burn a barn or two right to the ground.
No. We better just do what he says. I don't like the sound of that.
Wait a minute.
Or some morning, just because I feel ornery, I might let the hawks carry away all your chicken.
Now, Jeff, don't go getting ahead of yourself.
Yes, sir. I think you folks better start treating me and mine real nice.
Boy has a point.
I guess it's a different picture with you aiming to marry Comfort. We sure ain't got no call to pick on her.
That's the truth. It wouldn't be right to hurt her trying to get at someone else. When you aiming to marry?
Jeff?
Right away.
That true, Comfort?
Then I guess it is.
In that case, be sure to let us know about it, boy. We'll throw a picnic that day. Well, let's go, men. This here engaged couple's got some planning to do.
All right, let's go. We gotta go.
See you at home, Comfort?
In a while, Orgram. Tell Ma not to wait up. I guess things are gonna be different now. Aren't they, Jeff?
Sure are.
Something the matter?
No, my pipe just went out. Where's my matches?
Right here in your shirt pocket.
Oh.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure, honey.
You couldn't really do all those things, could you?
Well, what do you think? I hated to lie to him that way. But sometimes you have to cope with trouble soon as it comes up, before it gets out of hand.
Jeff.
Hmm?
How'd you do that?
Do what?
Like that match. You didn't strike it on anything. It just lit. All by itself. Was that a magic trick?
Nope.
Well, then what was it?
Honey, one of the first things you're gonna have to learn is to stop imagining things.
If you say so, Jeff.
Now, come on. Get in the wagon and I'll drive you home.
But how will you get home? It's a long walk.
Oh, I won't have to walk.
What are you gonna do? Fly? It's dark and...
Don't you worry about it, honey. I'll think of something.
You'll be relieved to know that Jeff and Comfort are still alive and happily married after all these years. According to the history books, their only son went on to become a United States Senator. He was considered an uncommonly shrewd politician who never lost an election. No one's sure where he is now, but from all reports he had a great influence on our national policies. Some say he continues to this day working quietly behind the scenes, using some rather special skills learned only in the Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone continues in just a moment.
You are about to enter another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. Hi, this is Stacy Keach. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our Twilight Zone website at twilightzoneradio.com. At twilightzoneradio.com, you'll find the latest information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas, including behind-the-scenes photographs, plus the newest product releases, trivia contests, ways to contact us, other Twilight Zone-related info and merchandise, plus links to other fascinating websites. So make your next stop twilightzoneradio.com.
Visit twilightzoneradio.com to purchase these Twilight Zone radio dramas on cassette and CD, or call toll-free 1-866-989-ZONE. That's 1-866-989-9663.
The Howling Man, starring Fred Willard, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Charles Beaumont. Heard in the cast were Christian Stolte, David Darlow, Doug James, and Anna Sverutza. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises, Carol Serling, Dennis Etchison, Dick Brescia Associates, Claire Simon Casting, Terry Jennings, XM Satellite Radio, Sirius Satellite Radio, our sponsors, and our radio affiliates for helping make this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are those of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Thank you, Mrs. Dunphy. I'll be back shortly.
You're going out?
I'm afraid so.
But you've only just returned.
Unfortunately, that is the nature of my work.
Another business trip.
The most important of all. But first, there are arrangements to be made.
I've prepared your afternoon meal.
I'm sure it will keep.
Can you not make these arrangements by telephone?
No. Some things can't be left to chance. In the meanwhile, follow my instructions precisely, to the letter. Mrs. Dunphy, do I make myself clear?
I believe so.
You believe so? Then let me make it absolutely clear. Sit down for a moment.
But if you're on your way...
It's necessary that you understand. And the only way to be sure is to tell you how it began. Please.
If you wish, sir.
I must warn you, it's an incredible story. I, of all people, know that. So incredible that you won't believe me at first. But I'm going to tell you everything. Then you will believe. Because you must. You must believe. Do you know Central Europe?
Europe? Only as a child, sir.
It started there many years ago, after the First World War. I was on a walking tour of France, Belgium, and Germany. I decided to travel alone with only a small pack. The confidence of youth. Germany was magical then, a place of valleys and mountains and swift, dark rivers. There was nowhere else like it, a fertile land where everything grew tall and straight out of the earth. I was struck by the richness of the soil, the verdancy of the hills. Stepping across the border from Belgium, where the mustachioed guards saluted like tin soldiers, I entered a different world. Everywhere I looked, a swelling green ocean. On the farthest hills, tall, ancient buildings of stone. Estates, monasteries, castles, or what have you. Some of them in ruins. I stood a moment at the border and watched the hawks circling above, wondering how such a miracle could be. It was as if I had passed through an invisible door from a musty room into a magical kingdom of winds and light. But so much can change in an afternoon. By nightfall, clouds filled the sky and the storm moved in to darken the landscape. The nearest village was miles away. I was unprepared, dressed for a stroll up the Champs-Élysées, perhaps. In minutes, I was drenched and chilled to the bone. And I saw it, a medieval castle, bombed almost to ruins, sitting like a broken fingernail atop Schwarzhof Mountain. I came to a wall of gray stone. There was an iron gate. Please! Please! Someone, please let me in.
A story told years ago by a man who recalled it from his youth. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, he was never able to put it out of his mind. It begins with a wayfaring traveler. His name is David Ellington, scholar, seeker of truth, and to his dismay, a finder of truth. A man approaching exhaustion, who will confront a problem that has haunted the world since the beginning of time. A man who knocks on a gate, seeking sanctuary, and instead finds that he has just crossed an unmarked border into the far edges of the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, The Howling Man, starring Fred Willard, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
I found a rope by the gate and pulled it. Please! Someone!
Yes? What is it?
Let me in.
I'm sorry.
You don't understand. I'm traveling on foot.
We don't allow visitors.
I'm not a visitor. What is this place?
It's called the Hermitage.
And I'm a stranger caught in the storm. Your robe, the cross around your neck. You're a man of God. I'm lost. Don't you understand? Lost.
Very well. Follow me.
Thank you, brother.
You're ill.
I'll be all right. Once I dry out.
This way.
What are these rooms? A barred window in each door. They look like, well, cells.
All are empty now.
I see, but what were they?
Wait here.
What for?
I'll speak to Brother Jerome.
Who? What in the...
Brother Jerome will see you now.
Oh, what was that?
The wind.
Are you sure?
Come.
The room had almost no furnishings. A straw pallet, a rude desk and chair, some books and religious oddments, very stark. The abbot himself was a fierce El Greco painting of a man, stooped and withered, but strong in every part of him. like the monk who came to the gate. He wore a shepherd's cloak and carried a crooked staff.
Why have you come here?
My name is David Ellington. I got lost in the storm. Then I saw a lantern in the window.
And what is it you want of us?
Want? Only a little shelter, some food.
We cannot help you here. You will have to leave.
You call that a Christian attitude?
Now, Mr. Ellington.
Oh, for the love of... All right, if that's the way you want it. Sorry to have troubled you. Give me a minute. I'll be out of here in...
Brother Christophorus.
Yes?
Carry him out of here. At once.
Right away.
I don't know how long I remained unconscious. When I came to, I was in a primitive cubicle, one of the cells. Walls and ceiling of gray stone, a single small window in the shape of an arch, the floor hard-packed dirt. The monk sat nearby in a chair. I lay under a blanket. Beneath me was a bed of straw. Water!
He lives. God's infinite mercy.
How long have I been here?
9 days, my son.
9 days?
You were very ill. The fever was on you. Brother Jerome said you would die, and he sent me to watch over you. I have never seen a man die. He holds that it is an important teaching, but now I suppose it was not your time.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, my boy, don't try to rise. You must rest.
What in the name of heaven is that?
In the name of heaven? Nothing.
I mean the scream.
Scream?
That.
What?
Are you deaf? That cry, I heard it before. You said it was the wind.
Ah, the wind cleanses the land after a storm.
But it isn't the wind, is it?
I don't understand your meaning.
It's a man.
Careful. You must regain your strength.
There! Don't tell me you didn't hear it!
Perhaps you would like some soup. It's cold, but nourishing.
What I would like, brother, is to leave this place.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
What do you mean?
Only that you're not well enough to travel. And of course, you won't be well enough to travel as long as you think you hear such sounds. Now, the soup.
I don't want it.
Open, please. There. That's better.
Over the next few hours, my strength did return, or at least some of it. I waited until the monk had fallen asleep. Then at last I made my move. The door was held shut by a simple iron bolt. I had only to slide it a few inches without waking him. I was almost free, but I could not remember which way we had come. When I turned into another corridor, I realized I was lost. It was a maze of dark passages and doors. Here, a part of the ruined ceiling was broken away, and I saw that the moon had risen. In the naked light of the moon, I saw one door different somehow from the others. At first, I was not sure why. Then I realized that in place of a bolt, it was held shut by a piece of wood, a mere stick, crooked and curved, like the peculiar staffs carried by the monk and the abbot, only in miniature, no greater in length than my forearm. On this door, in this door alone, a small wooden staff replaced the iron bolt. How odd! I looked through the opening in the door. Inside, a filthy, shadowed hovel. No table or chair, no straw for a bed. It appeared to be empty. What? There was a man, huddled in the corner, holding his knees and rocking, head back like an animal. In the soiled moonlight, I saw his dirty beard, his rotted clothes. Who are you?
Help me.
Stay back.
No, please.
In the name of humanity, help me!
But who?
You're not one of them.
No, my name is Ellington. I'm an American. Shh. What are you afraid of?
Them. Listen. Do you hear them coming?
No, but why?
They will look for you. We only have a moment.
You speak as if I'm a prisoner.
Aren't you?
I'm not sure.
Come closer, and I'll explain.
Explain what?
Don't you know what they are? These men of God. They are mad, Mr. Ellington. All of them. Raving mad.
Why do you say so?
I was in the village, in Schwarzhof, doing nothing out of the ordinary, walking the street with my woman. We were holding hands. That is all. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Well, of course not. But what?
We paused to rest by a tree in the shade. And then we kissed. Yes, I admit it. Is it wrong to kiss? Tell me.
Why, no. I don't think so.
You don't think so. I don't think so. But Jerome, that lecherous old fool.
The gaunt man. The one in charge.
So, you have seen him. As I kissed her, a shadow fell over us. We looked up and saw him standing there. I opened my mouth to speak, but before I could utter a word, he raised the wooden staff he carries, so heavy. You've seen it.
Yes.
And he hit me again and again. He smote me like an angry god, or a man who thinks he's God. I woke up here.
No.
I swear. They flogged me with knotted ropes. I asked for food. They would not give it to me. I begged for water. They gave me none. Then they threw me in this filthy room and locked the door.
Well, why?
For revenge. Jerome wanted my woman.
Are you sure?
Yes. That disgusting old man, that fanatic. He wanted her. And when she refused his advances, he took his fury out on me.
Your story, I find it difficult to believe.
Of course you do. That's the strength of the man. He makes his madness seem a harmless thing, the beliefs of a religious zealot. But this is not a religious order, Mr. Ellington. These brothers of truth.
Is that what they're called?
That's what they call themselves. The real truth is they're outcasts, misfits, cut off from the world because the world will not have them. Have you heard of their sect before, of this hermitage?
No, I haven't.
Mr. Ellington, you must believe me. I don't say they're all evil, only mad. And here, within these walls, they answer to no law but their own.
Wait for me.
Where are you going?
I'll speak to Jerome.
No, you mustn't.
If I remind him that false imprisonment is a crime...
I tell you, he's the greatest maniac of them all. Quick! He's coming. Hide yourself.
Mr. Ellington.
No.
Brother Jerome?
I did not know you were well enough to walk.
I still feel weak. Brother Jerome...
Come with me, please.
Look here,
This way. Where were you going?
I was looking for you.
It was unwise for you to wander on your own. The corridors can be treacherous.
Oh, can they? In what way?
The building is very old. One might trip and fall without a torch.
Or go where one is not meant to go, is that it? See something perhaps that you're ashamed of?
I do not know to what you refer.
Don't you? Oh, then you don't know the grounds very well. I saw something just now that violates the law of this country and of humanity. I must ask you.
And I must ask you, Mr. Ellington, to leave the hermitage at once. We lack proper facilities to care for the ill.
You certainly do.
Arrangements can be made in Schwarzhof.
Just a minute.
No, not a minute. Not an extra second, Mr. Ellington. Now.
I thought you were concerned about my health.
I am.
But now you want me gone regardless. Why?
I have explained that.
You've explained nothing. Based on what I've seen, I question your motives. I question your entire operation here.
You are making assumptions.
I certainly am. Now, look, no one invited me to come here. I realize that. I arrived unexpectedly, and you're not prepared for visitors. But I had no choice. And there is no excuse for your behavior. I suppose it was only a matter of time before you brought out the knotted ropes so that you could flail me or whatever it is you do for amusement.
My son.
I'm not your son.
There are many things you don't understand.
That's right, I don't. So begin with this one. Tell me, why are you in such a hurry for me to leave? What more are you afraid I'll find out?
More?
Besides the man you've got locked up in that cell.
What man is that, Mr. Ellington?
The one we just left. The one who's been screaming his head off.
I am not sure what you're talking about.
That's it, isn't it, brother? Or is he only one of many? Well, it isn't a secret anymore. I know.
And what do you think you know?
I...
The chair. Sit. You are still weak.
Brother Jerome, I know very little about this cult of yours, what's permitted within these walls, but I doubt very seriously that you can imprison a man against his will.
That is quite true. We have no such authority.
Then why have you done it?
No man has ever been imprisoned at the Hermitage, Mr. Ellington.
He claims otherwise.
Who claims otherwise?
Who do you think? The man in the cell at the end of the corridor.
There is no man in the cell at the end of the corridor.
I was talking with him.
You are talking with no man.
And you think I'm hallucinating?
Mr. Ellington, you are ill. You still have a fever. In such a state, delirium may cause one to see and hear things that do not exist.
Do you mean to tell me you don't hear that?
Hear what?
Look at me.
Dreams can seem very real.
And honest men make unconvincing liars. The brother who's been caring for me.
Brother Christophorus?
Yes. He has a way of looking at the floor when he tells me I'm imagining things. You look at me, but your voice loses its command.
More imaginings.
I don't know why, but you're both very intent on keeping me away from the truth.
What do you know of the truth?
Which is not only poor Christianity, Brother Jerome, it's poor psychology, because now I'm very curious indeed.
Curiosity is a dangerous thing.
Oh, I was taught it's a sign of intelligence.
There are some things best left alone.
Like sleeping dogs, a nest of snakes. I'll uncover the facts eventually, you know.
Meaning what?
Just what I say. I imagine the local police will be interested to learn that you're keeping a man locked up here.
I tell you, there is no man.
All right, let's forget it. I'll deal with it in my own way.
And what way is that?
However I see fit. It's no concern of yours now. Oh, and I apologize for not dying. Maybe some other time, brother.
Mr. Ellington.
A last word? Bon voyage? Don't bother yourself. I'll make it to the village with no further delay, I assure you.
Mr. Ellington, the prisoner in the cell, it's a delicate matter.
Ah! So you admit it?
A terrible thing. He's violent, dangerous. More dangerous than you know. We are obliged to lock him in the cell. I'm sure you can understand.
I understand that you're still lying to me. Goodbye, Brother Jerome.
Would you really go to the police?
If you were in my place, wouldn't you?
Very well. Close the door, Mr. Ellington. I have told you the truth, but only a part. Now I see that I must tell you the whole of it. May God forgive me.
Then you do hear it.
As I have heard it every hour of every day, for 5 long years.
Why did you lie?
I didn't.
Oh, but I think you did.
And now the skies darken. The storm returns. I should have known. When I told you that no man screamed in the Abbey, I spoke the truth. It is not a man, you see, Mr. Ellington. It is the devil himself.
You're joking with me, aren't you?
No, Mr. Ellington, I am not. Would that I were. It would be so much easier. But the prisoner in the cell, our only prisoner, is in fact Satan.
Oh, come now.
Otherwise known as the fallen angel, Ahriman, Asmodeus, Belial, Diabolus, the devil made manifest. You asked for the truth. Now you have it. Do you believe?
What? Oh, sure.
Now it is you who are lying, Mr. Ellington. You don't believe me at all. To the contrary, you're even more certain of what you've suspected all along, that I am mad. Well, sit down. I will tell you a story. And then we'll see how certain you are of my madness or of anything else. Drink.
What did you say?
Some brandy. For thy stomach and thy infirmities.
No, thank you.
Don't worry. It's not poison. A very old vintage. I'll drink with you.
What is it you wanted to tell me?
I presume, Mr. Ellington, that you consider yourself sophisticated, a worldly man.
Why do you say that?
You're young, rich by your clothes, and reasonably well educated. Harvard?
Yale.
Exactly. Having a last fling before settling into the family business.
How did you...
You are an open book, printed in very large type, with pictures. Of course, you consider us primitive, because we're living in seclusion away from the real world. To you, we're misfits. Please, I know all the theories.
I assure you, brother...
No, Mr. Ellington, it is I who am assuring you that I am not the ignorant fanatic I might seem. I coped with your world for 40 years before I left it, and rather successfully by your standards. The best schools, a degree in philosophy, a job that took me to all the corners of the earth. This beard and this staff and this faith represent nothing but a different point of view. If you understand that, then perhaps you will listen to what I have to say with an open mind.
Go on.
5 years ago, there were no screams at the Hermitage. This was simply the bombed-out ruins of a castle belonging to the family Wulfren.
How did you come by it?
Baron Wulfren turned it over to the Brothers of Truth as a gesture of charity. Our task was to tend the great vineyards and save what souls we could by constant prayer.
But this isn't a formal religious order, is it, brother?
We believe that we are recognized by God. Truth is our only dogma. We are committed to it as man's greatest weapon against the devil, who is the father of all lies.
Please, continue. You were tending the vineyards.
At that time, not very long after the Great War, the world was in chaos. Everywhere there was unhappiness, except in the village below.
Really?
For some reason, the people of Schwarzhof refused to yield to despair. They lost none of their faith. They continued, as they had for years, to be honest and God-fearing and happy. The village was a plum to Satan, one he could not resist. So he came here, drawn to it as a moth is to light, and embarked upon a program of corruption.
But you stopped him.
Yes. You see, Mr. Ellington, he made the same mistake you are making now. He underestimated me. He thought he would have no difficulty tempting an old fool. I had him in the cell before he knew what happened.
But if he's the devil, how do you keep him from escaping?
With the staff of truth. The one barrier he cannot pass.
Mm-hmm. And when he first came, just how did you recognize him?
I had seen him before, in every part of the world. Wherever there was sin, wherever there was strife and persecution, there he was also. Sometimes he appeared only as a spectator, a face in the crowd. But he was always there, in all times and places. So you understand now, I trust, why you must say nothing of the things you have seen and heard.
Brother, not that I doubt you, but is it possible that you've made a mistake?
No. Think, Mr. Ellington, of the peace in the world these 5 years. Think of this country now. Is there another like it?
But you haven't put an end to suffering. There's still murders and robberies. Even now, while we talk, people are starving.
The suffering man was meant to endure, my son. We cause much of our own grief and need no help from him. It is the unnatural catastrophes, the great wars, the overwhelming pestilences, the wholesale sinning that we have ended. The world is rebuilding. A great dawn will come.
Enough. You've made your case. I believe you, brother.
Do you? Truly?
I admit I was doubtful at first, but you've convinced me. Absolutely. I promise to keep your secret.
Good. Tomorrow, if you feel well enough, you may leave. For now, let the storm pass over. Brother Christophorus will look after you. If you would, go directly to your room.
I will. Good night, brother, and thank you. I was glad our conversation was over. It was clear that he was quite mad. I thought of his wild beard, his eyes in the flickering candlelight, and I was relieved to be away from him. The devil, indeed. But the storm had returned, and I was not yet fully recovered. I would pass one more night in this place. What, I wondered, should I do before morning comes? The corridor was dank and empty. I felt as though I were the last sane man in an insane world. What Brother Jerome had told me was utter nonsense, the product of a deranged mind. But his belief, his faith, as he called it, was heavy in the air, infecting the very stones. To bring it down would require outside help, but perhaps I could start that very night with an act of pure, unselfish humanity. Psst! Are you in there?
Where else would I be? I thought you weren't coming back.
I had a meeting with Brother Jerome.
What did he say? He lied to you, didn't he?
He said that you're...
Go on. What?
The devil.
The devil. Oh, that's good. That's wonderful. What a dream for an old man. Himself a devil. To catch Satan and lock him away in this God-forsaken place. You don't believe him, do you?
Of course not.
Then help me.
If I let you out now, while they're awake, they may catch you before you leave the grounds.
There's always the possibility. But another hour here, you don't know what it's like.
Look here, why don't I just go and get the authorities?
When?
As soon as morning comes. I'll find the path to the village and...
No! It would be my death warrant. The authorities will return and find nothing. Who knows what will have happened to me by then? Jerome is mad, but he's shrewd, too. He won't leave any evidence behind.
Then, what can we do?
You must let me out now.
There doesn't seem to be a lock on your cell, only this small shepherd's staff. You could almost reach through the bars and remove it yourself.
I've tried. It's wedged in such a way that I can't get my fingers around it.
Here, I think I can get it.
Quickly.
Wait. Brother Christophorus.
There you are. Brother Jerome was fearful. You might lose your way.
No, nothing of the kind.
Come along. I'll light the candle. There is bread and water on the table, and more soup to give you strength.
Thank you.
Rest now, Mr. Ellington. Remember, you're still a very sick man.
I'm feeling much better.
Nonetheless, Brother Jerome has asked me to watch over you.
Really, that isn't necessary.
It is my duty. The chair is sturdy, and the candle is fresh.
Wait a minute. Why are you locking the door?
To protect you.
But you're locking us both in.
Never fear. I have the key. It is not long till morning.
But...
Sleep, Mr. Ellington. You are a weary traveler. Soon you'll be back with your own kind. With a comfort, eh? You will forget all you have seen here.
I watched the monk as he sat heavily in the chair. I was a prisoner, no doubt about it. How much longer, I wondered, for both prisoners? What if the morning came and Brother Jerome chose not to release me as he promised? I might remain here for... How long had the Howling Man been in prison? 5 years? Lord, I imagined my beard growing, my hair wild, until I too was starved, crying to be let out. No one would come. Who knew I was here? I'd drop off the face of the earth, forgotten, presumed dead. Brother Christophorus had the keys around his neck, but until he fell asleep, I was at his mercy. It was almost dawn when I dared to move. I had to be careful not to wake him. Yes, I finally had the key. I locked Brother Christophorus in the cell. There was no time to spare. I knew I must release the Howling Man before I left the hermitage. You come. Good. What do you want me to do?
Lift off the wooden bolt.
Are you sure this is all that holds you in? A small carved stick?
Yes, lift it off, I tell you.
But surely you could have forced the door and broken it.
Please! There is no time for talk. In the name of mercy, if you fail now, they'll kill both of us.
All right.
Hurry.
I'm trying. I just need to slide it out of the latch.
Mr. Ellington, where have you gone?
Hurry! Hurry!
A moment.
Stop him! Stop him!
Now!
Brother Jerome, come quickly. I am free.
Stop! I command you.
The other way. Now.
Here is the gate.
It's locked.
I must get over the wall.
I'll put my hands together. A hoist. Step up.
Let not Satan escape us, O Lord. Let him not sow the seeds of evil throughout the world. I call upon you.
Up, now! He stepped in my hands and climbed the gate. Now, reach down and give me your hand. Help me.
Help you? Help you, mere mortal? Are you mad?
And I saw not the foot of a man before me, but a cloven hoof. In a flash of lightning, with those horns grown suddenly from his forehead, then he turned and vanished in the moonlight.
I am sorry for you, my son.
What was he?
As long as you live, you will remember this night. He is gone.
Who? Tell me.
Even now, you're not sure. But you will be. And then you'll know, Mr. Ellington. You'll know who it was you loosed upon the world.
The monks were mad, I thought. Or the Howling Man was mad. Or I was, or the whole world. But Brother Jerome was correct. I could not forget. And when the pictures of the carpenter from Bromau Alm Inn appeared in the papers, I grew uneasy, for I felt I'd seen this man before. And when the carpenter invaded Poland, I was sure. And when the world was plunged into war and cities had their entrails blown asunder, and that pleasant land I had visited became a place of hate and death, I decided to spend the rest of my life tracking down the one I had released. Each night I dreamed of it, Mrs. Dunphy, and I kept dreaming through all the wars since, until this week. It took years, decades, but eventually I found him. And so the nightmare is finally over. Again.
I see.
And now, Mrs. Dunphy, I'm going to see about a chartered plane to have him transported back to Germany. Brother Christophorus is in charge now. I have already written him. He will be very relieved.
And what you found, it is here?
Have no fear. As long as the staff of truth is in place, he cannot leave the next room. The staff is very small, but very powerful. So you see why you must not, under any circumstances, go near that door. Nothing in the world is more important. Do you understand?
I believe so.
Oh, he'll do a bit of howling, but never mind that. It's a trick. I'll return as soon as possible. Until then, keep that door locked.
Yes, sir. Oh, my. Such stories.
Come here. Please. You must listen. He is insane. Let me out, I beg you. Let me out.
Who's there? Behind that door. Are you all right? Sir? Sir, can you hear me?
The little piece of wood, the staff. Remove it, please.
I don't know if I should.
Please, take it off the door. I implore you, please. Please.
Ancient folk saying, you can catch the devil, but you can't hold him long. Ask Brother Jerome, or Brother Christophorus, or David Ellington. They know, and they'll go on knowing to the end of their days in the Twilight Zone.
More from the Twilight Zone after this.
You are about to enter another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. Hi, this is Stacy Keach. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our Twilight Zone website at twilightzoneradio.com. At twilightzoneradio.com, you'll find the latest information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas, including behind-the-scenes photographs, plus the newest product releases, trivia contests, ways to contact us, other Twilight Zone-related info and merchandise, plus links to other fascinating websites. So make your next stop twilightzoneradio.com.
Visit twilightzoneradio.com to purchase these Twilight Zone radio dramas on cassette and CD, or call toll-free 1-866-989-ZONE. That's 1-866-989-9663.
That was some selected episodes of the Twilight Zone series from 2002 to 2012. Next week, we will have some Chet Cheddar's Tales from the Morgue, War of the Worlds, and other classics. Airchecks is a 3-hour weekly podcast uploaded every Saturday. See you on the same time and same channel.